Welcome to a special edition of Friday Night Pint, a European Conference League winning edition of Friday Night Pint. West Ham have won the Europa Conference League, and we're going to be talking about our experiences, thoughts on the game, the parade that yesterday, for those who was there and wasn't there. We're going to get into a bit of Sullivan's comments later, but we want to talk about this. We're going to get your comments, interact. I'm here with my good friends Scott and Brian. Listen, guys, mate, I'm on cloud now. I don't know if you've just spent all your time scrolling, looking at videos and reliving it and just soaking it in, but I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it.
Oh, mate. Yeah, listen, same for me. Well, no, do you know what? I've processed it now. I've processed it. And, I'm in the situation now where I'm like, yeah, we're winners. You know what I mean? And I'm just embracing it. I'm living every moment of it right now, because it's just been the whole week. The week's been mental, even before the game, the build up and stuff. There was so much excitement. We're all on a high, we're all on a buzz. Then when it came to like Tuesday or even maybe like Monday evening, the nerves kicked in. So all of us and probably the whole entire fan base started to feel a little bit nervous about the occasion. And then Wednesday itself is just, it's probably a blur for a lot of people, but we did it, man. We did it, and that's all that matters. It's all that matters.
That's it. Do you know what? Right, I really liked. I was sitting upstairs, like trying to get the kids to bed. And I'm still flicking through Instagrams and things like that. Declan Rice, crying, the emotion of it all coming out and everything like that, and it still grips you. And it's been so good to listen to the radio going into work, like I listen to TalkSport, because you just like to say keep up to date. But it's all been West up until today. It's all been West Ham.
Yeah, that's why I wish we was on after the Champions League now, because after the fucking Champions League, it's going to be all Man City unless they lose. But then they'll still talk about Man City.
Yeah, but it's just been so good to have not one of they've not really spoke about the Sky Six, have they? It's all been around us, and it's given. I think that shows how much credit that this trophy should have for us, and I think, barring Tottenham fans, I think everyone was sort of happy that we won it.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree with that. With the coverage as well, the coverage has been like proper. When I came back and sort of like watched the news and everything, was on like the London news on both channels and stuff like that. Like literally the whole episode of the news is just like coveraging the parade and stuff, which is amazing. But same with the fan base situation as well. Like everyone, if you look at the comments of the videos, etc., you got people from all over the country, no matter who they support, sort of saying, you know what, we're really glad West Ham won it, because it's just like a good, honest, working class team with a great fan base. Everyone's saying it. You see what I'm saying? And everyone's seeing that, and they're showing their appreciation because they know how much it means to us.
Yeah. It's weird, like, because after the game, I like the result full time. Like Jace was crying his eyes out. He was, and I was emotional. I was close to it. I didn't cry. And then like the parade, Jace is crying again, and I'm still there. I'm like just stunned, walking around. Like I was walking around Stratford. We'll get into the parade, just stunned. And it was weird today. I was like on the stairs, with my phone, and I see a video of the parade and that, and that's when it hit me. It just hit me, and I started choking up, like feeling it. I was just like welling up, like, oh my God, like it just out of nowhere. 2 days later, the whole gravity of it, everything just hit. Like, this is real. We've really done this. Like, wow. Like I was just stunned until that point. It was just like, oh my God. Like,
it does, mate. It no matter how many times you see it, it still grips you. I watched the BT Sport done a montage of the day, and then obviously clips of the game, and at the end, and that brought me to tears. Yeah, just sitting there watching that, and because it's watching it at the pub and all that, I've got all the atmosphere building up of it, but you didn't watching football without the sounds. You've got the background noise of the pub and everyone in the pub and the singing and the chanting and all that going on, but actually sitting there listening to the commentary of it all and all that, it just gripped me even more in that little montage, and it just set it all off. It was. Yeah.
Do you know what? I think we should probably touch on that in terms of our experiences about what we done, where we were, etc.
Yeah, definitely. Start with you, mate. You start us off.
Well, all right. So basically, I watched the game at home. Yeah, I watched the game at home. Um, and a bit like what Scott's saying there about the the advantages, disadvantages. I had all the commentary, etc. So I was able to kind of like listen intently to what's being said. Some of the punditry was getting on my nerves in terms of Don Hutchison. Not gonna lie, Don Hutchison was getting on my nerves a little bit with some of his comments, but we'll leave that there. But I was at home, like fully charged, ready for the game. Watched the game, really tense, really on edge, basically, particularly the first half. And the thing is, like, sort of fast forwarding forward a little bit. How I am, you know how I am. I like to like look at the game, analyze the game, etc. I watched the whole game, buzzing, couldn't believe it. Did probably what everyone else was doing, looking at socials and all that, and seeing what was coming through. I watched the whole game again, like literally. I watched the whole 90 minutes again. And I was up till about 2:30, just sort of like really. And the best bit about for me when I watched it again with like no emotion, because I know, I already know what's going to happen and stuff. I was able to kind of process a lot of things clearer, and my judgment in terms of how I saw things also changed as well when I watched the game again, in terms of how I viewed and perceived the game, how I viewed and perceived individual performances, everything. But yeah, so I watched it twice, and I was just in a daze. And then the next day, my head was I was just mashed up. So at the parade and stuff, I felt like hungover. I just felt a wreck yesterday. I really forced myself to go yesterday, man. But yeah, that was my experience. Dan, I know you obviously had a bit of a situation, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a situation, man. I'm sure most people know, but for those who don't, I didn't have a ticket to the game. Like Monday night, for those who saw the watch along, went in, me, Damo, Jace went and set that all up, changed it, made it look nice, made it look profesh, get something we could be happy with. And I just come home and I'm like, great, looking forward to that now. Can't wait to see what people think of the set. Can't wait to watch it there, and then get a message from someone who has sorted me out a few pieces of stuff. Who's a big West Ham fan, great guy, but he's a prominent person who I can't name. But he was like, "You still ain't got a ticket for the game? Like, you still looking for one? You ain't got one?" I was like, "Nah, like, so we really gonna probably need to watch along." He's like, "Well, I got one if you want it." I was like, and I messaged Nikki. And I was like, someone's just offered me a ticket to the game. Like, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, obviously, they've got the watch along and all of that. I couldn't make that decision myself. I needed someone to tell me what to do, because it was just, I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, take it, go. What are you doing? Like, Jason, same thing. I was like, I'll have it. He said, it's yours. All good. Was like, I'm going, like, frantically now, trying to sort out flights in a rush. So much so that as I'm showing Nikki the flights I've booked, he goes, "You've booked the return for the 20th of July." I was like, "What?" Like, I had no idea. Had to then go and book another flight coming back, British Airways. Prices are racking up, you know what I mean? Then I had to frantically try and book a flipping hotel. That was, expensive. Cost me nearly $1,000. It was all told. And all the while now, I have not still been sent the ticket. And Scott, you know this. I was saying it in the group chat. Like, I still ain't got the ticket. It's like, he'll send, and he's a trustworthy person. He's always, but it's someone else's ticket that couldn't go. So I'm thinking I'm relying on them. What's going to happen? Gets to the day of the game as I'm getting ready to leave. I still ain't got this ticket, and I'm like not a pushy person. So I was like, dropped the message. Oh, hey, hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you got there okay. Oh, by the way, any update on the ticket? Like, it's like casual update, you know? And he was like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Boom, tickets there. I'm like, now I can relax. Now I can be excited. Now I can look forward to the game now, because I've got the ticket. Like, it's there. It's mine. I've got it. I can see it. Now we just got to get to that airport. And I'm there. I'm starting a vlog. I literally started a vlog. I'm walking there like there's a video. Going, here I am. I got a ticket now. I'm going to the game. I should put that up somewhere somehow. Sometimes we can say, I'm going to the game. This is going to be great. I'm going to capture all this stuff. It's going to be brilliant. On the train now. filming the train. Look, get the train coming, nice B-roll, get on Gatwick Express. And I'm on the Gatwick Express, because I didn't say anything. I was going to the game, so I got a ticket. I was like, boom, got a ticket on the way to Prague. All these messages going in, going, well done, mate. Well, you deserve it. And then my message comes in going, the flight's delayed, so you might as well get a ticket to me. My mate wants one. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, is this just a chance of trying to get me to give him the ticket? It's like, nah, it's got to be in it. Like, I can't trust that. And he didn't say how long the flight was delayed for. Because I mean, look, if it's half an hour or whatever. So I go on to my thing and check the flights, and it says 3 hours. And in that moment, my heart sank. I was just like, that just everything was just spinning around me, and I was just like, oh my God, like, what do I do? Get into the airport now. I'm trying to go to a help desk. Remember help desks? Remember desks where you can speak to a person? You go, this is my situation. What do I do? And they go, well, if you get this flight to here and you can do this and go there and you'll make it and all that. None of these people exist anymore. So they're out.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no help. EasyJet, what can I do? I'll go and ring up this number and sit on hold for an hour. That's it. So I was just like, oh my God. Like the person who's giving me the ticket is still saying, oh, just come anyway. But it's like, I'm going to miss most of the game. So I'm wrestling with this thought process of what to do. And I'm looking, if I get there, it's a 40-minute drive for the airport, but then I've got to get through the airport. And I'm like, oh my God, what time would I get there? I'm like, I want to see this game. I want to experience it live and see the goals as they go in. And that I don't want to just go there for a party. And I said, look, I can't do it. I had to return the ticket. And when I returned that ticket, that was one of the most painful things ever, man. Pressing that return ticket. Are you sure you want to return this ticket? Because you won't be able to use it anymore. Yes. Ticket return. I was devastated because I've just basically just taken $1,000, thrown it in the toilet, lost out on this amazing experience. But still, I'm glad that I didn't choose to just go to. I chose the better option than just going and being out there, because I did get to go and see it with my 2 oldest friends and all the people who watch us that was in the watch along with us. We got to experience that together. I've got my experience on camera now for life. So I can always look back on that and see the emotion, see how I felt at the time, because it's hard to remember. And I got to go to that parade. And that was the party. If I was going to go if I was just going to go to Prague for a piss up, I'd rather, we'll talk about parade, but I'm so glad I was there for that, because that was special. But for those of us, I'm not going to get the money back. They won't. The most I could have got back was 23 quid. That was it. 400 quid plane ticket, 23 quid refund ahead of time. So thanks, British Airways. Thanks, EasyJet. So yeah, that was my thing. So I ended up watching it in Manor Park, and I said this afterwards, in the review. That's the same place me and Jace, the same house me and Jace watched the FA Cup final together. Where we was elated at one point and we was absolutely heartbroken. In his mum's living room. That building weren't built yet; it was in. But so to sit there in that same house in Manor Park, watch this final, and to see that win. It was crazy. It was really emotional. So yeah, that's how we had beers. Them Heinekens were going down so smooth. So yeah, it's like it was meant to be. I just wish I didn't have to spend $1,000 to go and do what I was doing anyway. That would have been nice. I'll get some super chats, and then I want to hear all about Scott's experience, because yeah, he was watching it with one of his oldest friends as well. We get to hear how Scott's experience was. Good old Matt Rainey, 99 super chat. Thank you very much, Matt. It's beautiful to be West Ham right now. Unfortunately, not with my boy, but shout out to Jet Rainey, my boy, my little hero. Daddy loves you. I'm one proud East End boy. East Ham to Stratford and off my nut. Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Now, shout out to your son, Jet. Hopefully, you will get to have some good memories, good football memories with him, to come. Slow Bro Clay, £10 super chat. Thank you, mate. Dan, just watched you on Football's 12th Man podcast. That Tobes got absolutely cooked and could not take it. What a beautiful day it has been. Come on, you irons. Yes, I just did. You can watch it after this 12th Man podcast, which I do each week, with like Man United fans, Spurs fan, which is Tobes, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, now Newcastle, and all season I've been getting it. I've been getting it from them. And I said, we're going to win this trophy. I said, we're going to win it. And weren't having it. I said, we're going to have a better season than Spurs. Weren't having it. Oh my God, it was beautiful. The pain in Tobe's eyes where he tried to fight back. It was pathetic. It was pathetic to see that fight back. He had nothing in him. So, yes. And I'm going to be seeing him tomorrow at the Champions League, and I'm going to be seeing him Sunday for the London Club's Carnage. So, just guns get it. That's what we do. All of our Spurs mates and all these gobby, we all have them. We all know them.
Yep.
That's an extra thing. It's not the thing. It's a cherry on top. That was what we was putting up some comments. I made a last minute choice to go to Prague, Somerset, Amsterdam, and 12-hour coach to Prague just for the fans. They're all worth it. Prior to London. Fair play to you, mate. Wow. Fair play. That's
commitment.
Yeah, 12 hours on a coach, man. My back would be finished.
I did that to Dublin when I went for a family funeral, man. Me and my mum did that, and it was one of the worst things I've ever done. Like, I couldn't even sleep. Can't sleep. You're just there, like, awake. I couldn't, like, listen to music. I couldn't do anything because you're just like, Nino 1983, £5 super chat. Thank you, Nino. Never let anyone belittle this amazing achievement. Remember, only 3 teams can win a European trophy, and West Ham are one of them. We go again.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about that. People trying to be a bit. And man, it's still crazy. GP, £2 super chat. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Making love or West Ham winning a cup better? Nothing tops West Ham winning a cup.
I second that. 100%.
I have to agree, mate.
And where were you, Scott? What was you doing? Tell us your experience, mate, watching this game. And everyone in the chat, tell us your experiences. Keep them coming in.
In true me and Graham's style, we left everything to the last minute about where we're going to go. So we had agreed Stratford, and my niece.
That's what I thought you was going. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So my niece, she goes to the games with Graham, and then they come and join me when they're there. And she got the ump with us because we were running and ironing what pubs to go to, whether to go to the fan zone and all that. So in true style, Graham contacts the Goose in Stratford. Oh, you got any table? No, fully booked. Oh, right. Can we still come and stand up? So I was like, yeah, all right then. So we could meet up at Stratford. They're down there. And as I said, there's loads of tables empty. We're thinking, this is all right. People won't turn up and we'll nick the tables. And then the place just got rammed. It was packed. It was good because I got a good spot right on the bar, so I didn't have to move. I was slap bang in the middle of the bar, telly right in front of me. And, I was all right. The build up to the game didn't feel...
He was in the Goose in Stratford. Was you?
Sorry, the Goose.
That's what you need, the Goose in Stratford.
Oh, it's not the Goose. It's now the Sportsman. Sorry.
Yeah, what was the Goose?
Goose, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, I weren't nervous at all going into it. And then, we kicked off and the singing's going and you're getting involved in the atmosphere. And, you can't go anywhere, Brian. If you ever go out with Graham, you'll notice this. You can't go nowhere with Graham without him bumping into someone he knows. And surprising, we actually made it to half time before he went, oh, that's my mate I went to school with. Honestly, Graham, it's hilarious when you go out with him. I've always said you can go to Antarctica with Graham and a penguin will come up to you and go, oh, you're right, mate.
He's just that guy.
He's that guy who knows everyone. But, we're watching the game and obviously the place goes mad. We go 1-0 up and the place goes absolutely crazy. Everyone's... No beer was being thrown, that's what I like,
me too.
I don't want to get covered in beer, but everyone was loving it. Everyone was buzzing. Everyone was singing. And then obviously the equaliser in, the other emotion kicks in. A few people screaming at the telly, going, the usual what you get. Yeah. And that's when the nerves started to kick in.
Right.
For me, like I started to get a bit nervous because I thought they had us on the ropes a bit. We looked a bit nervy. And then that moment when Paquetá gets the ball, and he blows it, and I think everyone just went silent. And then you hear, go on. And then that was it. The place just erupted. Everyone jumping around, going crazy. I grab Graham grabs me, we're cheering. And both of us at the same time said, we're fucking going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, then it was the realisation. And then them injury time minutes have got to be the
Oh,
longest. It was meant to be 6, I think. Wasn't it? Like 8 or
Meant
9.
to be five, and then he went
Yeah,
up to like 8, 9. Yeah.
that's the longest 8 minutes of my life.
yeah.
It really was. And, it was just such a good feeling when that final whistle meant, mate. Such a good feeling. It's, a lot of other fans are spoiled. A lot of other, we're not spoiled. 43 years since we last won a trophy. And that's why when we went to the parade last night, you've got to embrace them moments. That
Yeah.
was one thing. I was gutted I couldn't watch the game with my boys, and my daughter as well. I don't see her that much, but it was a shame I couldn't watch it with her. But not having the boy with me, I had to make sure I took him last night to the parade because they're the memories you want,
Yeah.
and it's such a special night, mate. You
Yeah.
just can't put it in words how special it is.
Yeah. And like you said, like we're not spoiled. We're not spoiled. And we're honest with that too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're honest as a fan base. We're honest with that too, in terms of when we get these wins, we take it. And I think everyone else, in terms of any opposition fans, minus a few minority that will sort of dig us out, they sort of appreciate it because they know that's it. So we're just going to lap it up. Do you know what I mean? But there's so much with that game. There's so much, like, from the beginning in terms of like the team lineup. Go back a few weeks, Scott, you were talking about it's not just about the right hand side. You put into the argument about left back position as well. There's a conversation to be had about who should we have there, and then there was the obvious Ben Rama Fournel situation. So when I saw the team lineup, I was like, you know what? I admired. That's probably the team lineup I wanted, but I also admired that it was almost different from Moyes. If we all sort of had to put £100 and pick the team, I think we all probably would have thrown Cresswell in there in terms of if we're thinking like Moyes. So the fact that he put in Emerson, I was pleasantly surprised, and I felt the lineup was spot on. In terms of the game itself, I mean, I think the first half, I think Fiorentina were the better team, in my opinion. They were the better team. Although we did start the game well. We had a little flurry in the first maybe 3 minutes where Antonio had that shot. There was a few counter-attacking opportunities. But I did say when I came on last time that this game was potentially be like won and lost in the midfield. And then you had Bonaventura and Amrabat for them, who were just conducting. They were pulling the strings. Amrabat playing in that sort of Pirlo deep line thing, and it basically caused us a bit of a problem strategically in terms of our middle three. We're kind of getting overrun with their fullbacks also pushing up really high. But then the dark arts came into effect, and they played that really early. And I think what that done for the team as well, it kind of impacted, emotions got involved, because after the ref sort of like won't buying it for maybe the first one or two, he then started to give them a few decisions, which then impacted the team's mentality. You could see Antonio was losing his head and stuff like that. And then that for me is kind of like when I was like, you know what, it messed up our rhythm, because Gonzalez was really milking all of that stuff with the rolling around. And as you can see, it wound up the fans, didn't it? It really wound up the fans in the stadium and stuff. And we lacked composure, started to give away the sloppy balls whenever we tried to break and basically do that counter attack. But you know what, with that being said, like defensively, I felt we were solid. Pretty much throughout the whole game. I think like Zuma and Aguirre, minus maybe the closing down for the goal, were really tight. So I was kind of worried when Zuma came off. I think Emerson had a good game. Everyone said he won't my man of the match, but he had a good game, particularly a strong first half. Second half was okay, but if we watch it back, he did give away the ball a couple of times, as did others, and he's also got out jumped for the goal. But I felt defensively all right, and Bowen was really good in terms of his defensive closing down. He kind of closed down at least 2 or maybe 3 crosses from Bragi that could have been basically dangerous. Do you know what I mean? It could have ended up being a situation. But for me, the turning point of the game was at the end of the half. It literally was the disallowed goal. I feel for me, that was kind of the turning point because because of when it happened as well, right at the end of the half, and it probably allowed us, or Moyes, I should say, to kind of, and the players to kind of regroup, get the players in. And then second half, when you kind of when I review it and look at the second half again, it was kind of built on moments. And you know, why Bowen's probably my man of the match in terms of like it's about his contribution to key moments in the game. There were a lot of players that played okay. As a team, we didn't play good. But the bottom line is it was about styles, wasn't it? And because of how they play and how we play, it just kind of suited us. No matter how crap we played, how we played, it just put us in a position where I just felt we was okay. But Bowen for me was man of the match due to those defensive interceptions. If you think of the key moments, he made 3 defensive interceptions where he closed down crosses. He won the penalty, and he obviously got the decisive winning goal. So when I review it in terms of like impact of the game as a whole, he was my man of the match. Paqueta also had a brilliant 30 minutes in the second half. Where he started to he got into the game, didn't he? But if we just look at like key moments and how, you know, contributing to the game, I think Bowen, when I looked at it back, I thought, you know what? Yes, a lot of the stuff that he did do was off the ball, but just those key moments in winning the penalty, getting the decisive goals, and that is the things we remember. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the game back as well, so you would. Yeah, you would like for me for I mean, I don't know if Scott's watched anything back. I've seen some highlights, but for me, obviously, the emotions get swept into the game, and like Emerson did stand out to me during the time because I felt like, especially first, like everything positive that we were doing going forward was through Emerson, and the big problem was not enough players were getting forward into the box. Like that was a big problem of our counter attack throughout the whole game. If you counter attack. But like, there's a point where Antonio's got like 4 players around him. You know, he eventually loses the ball like you would expect to do because there's no one for him to then release the ball to and move. And that's what I just don't understand. If we want to be a attacking team, we have to, you know, go forward in numbers. That was my big frustration. So Emerson, I think, did a lot positive going forward, but didn't have the outlets. Like he's putting in crosses, and there's one person in the box that has like 3 Fiorentina defenders in front of him. And I think that was the big issue. And I just felt like, you know, especially after that, it's going to be a night because they were a threat. They were a massive threat. And I really was thinking the worst. I got to that point after that, I was like, damn, like I can see this going wrong. So yeah, it weren't a vintage performance. It weren't, but again, don't matter. We got the win.
Emotions definitely caught both teams. I feel like you could tell in the performances that the teams are riled up for different reasons, and emotions definitely got in the way.
Let me just read the super chat, Scott, and then we'll get your assessment. I'll just get that there. Jamie Havill, 2023, £20.23 super chat. Super chat, the year we win the trophy. Been an amazing season watching all the content. Watched with my 10-month-old boy by my side. That's brilliant, Jamie. Thank you so much. And you know, so pass me that rum, I love a toasted rum. You know what? That's all I've got. I forgot to do a beer run. I've got Old Brigand.
Nice. I've had that before. I was gonna say, really quickly, it's a good point that Jamie touched on. Some really good content in the last week or so, or even 10 days. There's been some good stuff on this channel. You know, Nicky and Ryan have been doing some good stuff out there. Yourself, Dan, over here, and other content creators. You know, on other West Ham platforms. Do you know what? Everyone's like really stepped up in terms of like making the effort to basically put together content for this special occasion. So yeah, big up all the content creators, man. Definitely.
Listen. Scott, as you know, I'm sorry, God, Scott.
No, I'm gonna shout before I say talk about the game and about it. Dan's done. Nicky and Ryan have been out there. They've done a lot of work out there, but Dan's worked very hard this week. He done a lot like yesterday, and he got it all out. All the things he filmed, him and Jace were filming yesterday. He got it out. You know, they the preview that we did Dan edited all that, so he's worked hard, and you've got to give yourself a pat on the back, mate. You've done well this week. Nicky and Ryan have done a good job out there, but you've done a lot of editing, and it's come out good. The preview, barring the sound a little bit, the preview, which was
some people decided to take their wind mufflers off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to blame you for that, but no, listen, mate, you've done a good job this week. You've done a really good job this week. You deserve a pat on the back, and let's hope we can get you your money back somehow.
Hopefully. Yeah. And I appreciate it, man. The thing is, look, we're doing this a long time. We've had to make videos just about the most awful times. I remember doing videos after the Burnley game, and people think that, like channels like us, we love it when we lose, blah, blah, blah. It is the worst thing. Like me, I've always used, before doing this, I was a sort of fan, like after the game, I would never call up no talks, but I would try and forget it and try my hardest to just go, okay, next week, just get it. Because I hate it. I can't, like, having to, when you're losing, when things are going bad, you're down in relegation battles. It's not fun to make content, but we do it because it's cathartic for everyone. Like for us, you get to vent, people get to watch it and go, oh yeah, they feel like I feel, or I don't feel that way, but I can see whatever. But it's not fun, like to make this to content about like us winning a trophy and the build up. It's an absolute pleasure and a privilege, like because it don't happen often, and it's just such a joy because you're sitting there, you're editing fan cams or videos or interviews, and you're loving what they're saying. Everyone's happy and you're happy, but you get to watch it and see the comments of how happy everyone is. It's amazing. So long may it continue.
Yeah.
And we got one more super chat, Scott, from good old Steve WHU Bell. Surely we've got to have a Friday night pint 2 live now, lads. We have to, Steve. We have to. It has to happen.
It is in hopefully in the pipeline. We're waiting for the boys to come back. I think they land back tonight. I think they possibly could have landed back now, actually. So we'll get the chats going and see what's let them get back, chill out. I think we've got to have a meet up and film an end of season review and that type of thing. But once they're back, I think we'll look and see what we can do for that. So, but we are wanting to do one. So
absolutely.
Keep an eye out on the channel. We'll let you know what's going on. And why we're saying thank you, right? Another person that deserves a thank you is Miss Amaret. She does a lot for us this season. I know Matt Powell helps out a bit. He does a lot when he's available and all that. But Miss Amaret has been probably nearly every Friday night pint, nearly every watch along. I'm sure she was on the watch along with you the other day, Dan, and modding as she does. So we got to give her a big shout out because she does a lot of work for us. And I don't want to feel we don't appreciate it because we really do appreciate what she does behind the scenes, and no one really sees that. So we normally give her a shout at the end of the season, but I think she deserves one tonight as well.
Gave her a shout on the watch along. Miss Amaret's brilliant, and she's always positive in the chat, always welcoming people, and it's and again, there's so many people, Steve, like we said, Matt, like it's so many to name, and your community is what is important on the channel. You're nothing without it because it welcomes other fans and it makes people feel part of something connected, and we're all like a West Ham Fan TV family. Look, oh no, look who's showed up. Trophy celebrating 2 days, they still a small trophy. Listen, like I said to Tobes, mate, it's a small trophy that you guys couldn't even get out of group stages for. Couldn't even get out of group stages. And look, we've won a trophy and you're in our shadow now. That's how it happened. You know what I mean? That's how it happens. Your highlight of the season was singing West Ham Get Battered. That was it. That was your season. Well done, expressions. Oozing salt. That's what he is, oozing salt. But we love it.
What was it we said yesterday? Dan Mbama's made his Premier League debut, won the FA Youth Cup and won a European trophy in his first season, all before Harry Kane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing, what has Kane got? Kane's got nothing. Mbama's 18. Mbama's 18 years old, mate. So
that's it.
Expressions, he's probably dipped, but you have to hold that, mate.
The thing is, I think deep down that we've seen a lot of grief from Spurs, and there's have been other fans, but I work with some Chelsea fans, and they're old school Chelsea. They were Chelsea fans before the Abramovich era and stuff like that, and they said it's a European trophy. It's good to see a club like West Ham winning a European trophy, and that's coming from Spurs fans. Chelsea fans. Sorry, I haven't really seen the Spurs fans at work, which I'm not really surprised about. Let's be honest, but the Chelsea fans and that's what I've seen. You see it on like we were saying earlier, the comments and the videos. I've seen Villa fans, Leicester fans. We've got a Leicester fan who's always in the chat. Dolster, he's always around. They've turned around and said, it's so nice to see a club like ours winning a European trophy. And you saw what it meant to the Villa fans just qualifying. And if they go on to win it, they're going to be in exactly the same place we are, and they've won major trophies in their history, some big trophies as well. So I don't care what anyone thinks, mate. It's a European trophy. There's only 3 of them that can be won in the season, and we've won one of them. So that's all that matters.
100%. I couldn't give a monkeys about it. And you know what? I'm not even bantering with any other team. I don't give a monkeys. You know what I mean? I'm just reveling in the win. So it's all good.
That's it.
Listen,
nothing can undermine. Listen, nothing they can say can undermine the feeling, right?
Yeah,
the feeling, how we feel, can't be taken away.
Exactly.
It can't. Our experience that we have had can't be taken away, and it doesn't matter what anyone, says. Like, no one can say that, because they would trade places. Look, Everton fan would trade places with us like this. And look, this ain't a dig at all Everton fans, but this guy's saying it. They had a pitch invasion 2 seasons in a row for staying up. We didn't do that.
Yeah,
we didn't have a parade like Aston Villa did for qualifying for this competition. We didn't even do one for qualifying for Europa League. But we've won a trophy. What this sport is about, what we are fans for, what we live to see, right, is this glory.
Yep.
We've done it. That's what it's about. So you can have your parades for staying up, and next season your pitch invasions, you can have one again next season and get beaten up by Patrick Vieira again, right? No matter. Can't take it away. Nothing you can say, mate, is gonna change how we feel about this, because I'm on cloud 9, and so are all of us.
Listen, if they were all in our position today, their views would be much, much different.
Yeah,
they're only saying it because they've got nothing to shout about. Like you said, Dan, all they've got to shout about, they've stayed up. That's it. And they'll enjoy another relegation battle next season.
I'm back.
What I'm going to say, for once, now I've been doing the preview for how many years? For once, I've got the team bang on point.
Nice one.
It's only taken 7 years. I've got the team bang on point.
Yeah. You did. You said like I said. You said the same team, but Emerson. That's what it was. I got the prediction right. By the way, I'm the only got the prediction right.
Yes, you did.
Nice.
Hey, I was only a couple of minutes away from being right with a 1-1.
Yeah, you predicted to go on penalties, you bastard.
Oh,
you predicted to bring that pain on us. Can you imagine?
That would have killed me.
Oh my god! I was sick at 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1, let alone penalties.
But even, do you know what? Even when Bowen was slipped through, when he got the goal, so I was going, jumping up and down, yeah. Then I just cut off. I was like, focus, focus. Do you know what I mean?
The worst thing is VAR came in. We were like, and then we go VAR, and then they checked it for a second. It was like shit, but then we got to celebrate again when it was like, it stands, it stands, it stands.
That was it. I don't know whether you guys felt it, right? So with the second goal, right? I looked up at the screen, saw the replay once, turned to Graham and said, "It's going to stand. It's a goal. He's onside. You could tell straight away." But did you feel? I did. Right? That referee, when he went over to the monitor to check for the penalty, I thought he was standing there looking for every reason possible not to give the penalty.
Yeah, this is part of my... So, in terms of the commentary and co-com, so you had Don Hutchinson and you had, what's his name again? Robbie Savage, yeah. And Robbie Savage was pro. It was absolutely like penalty, move the ball, etc. and Don Hutchison was kind of like, oh, I'm not so sure, kind of like, and in theory, he's kind of saying in terms of the rules of the game, etc., have changed. Yes, we know that, but how it's running in today's world, that trajectory of him like punching the ball with his fist, it was clear as day. But as you said, when the ref went over, he kind of looking at it a little bit too long for my liking. So I was nervous at first, but I just thought it was bang to rights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. As we said, it's not even the fact where his arm was. It's the fact he looks at the ball and still punches it forward. Yeah, he tries to disguise it in a natural movement of his body, but he looks at the ball. He knows where his arm is. He knows where the ball is, and he punches the ball forward. And if he doesn't, Bowman's through.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
and
it's the most blatant penalty I've seen in all season. Handball in terms of handball.
For me, as if I was looking at it from a manager's point of view, I'm screaming at him for giving away the penalty because I would have rather let Bowen try and control it and give your keeper a chance to save it. You know, it's the same. Their managers come out and criticised that Igor. He said, you were the fresh legs, you should have run quicker. Not being funny, last minute of a cup final, Igor should have swiped Bowen and took him out.
Yeah.
That's what I expect from my defender. Get sent off, we'll play the extra time with 10 men, but we've still got a chance of being in the game. We're not losing, you know. But and to be fair, considering they've done dirty tactics all the way through that game, I'm surprised he didn't even think of doing that.
You know what? The manager, he done a pep, really. He kind of pepped himself in terms of like he made a couple of like different. He made changes to the predicted started lineup with, and you know, he kind of, I don't know, it just didn't work for him. But the ball that Paqueta put through, we've been victims of that a few times this season, right? Against Newcastle, a few teams that right down the middle through pass has just gone right in between the centre backs. We've been on the other side of that, so it was nice, and that's what I want to see Paqueta to do a lot more of, is kind of like drift out of that 8 into that 10 in with the ball and just like sit as a perfect pass on the run, everything about it. And if there's one person you would want that to drop to in our team, it's definitely Bowen. Do you know what I mean, in terms of to finish it and stuff? So it dropped to the right.
It's just that's it. It's just about, like you said, it's having players now and timing our runs a lot better. So we are making sure we're on side and we're getting that and having that composure in front of goal. And I have to say, both Ben Rama and Bowen, ice in their veins yesterday. You know, I mean, that penalty, the guy has been, 100% on penalties for us, Ben Rama, stepping up. And he's become like the new Mark Noble for us on penalties. Like, makes the penalty, bangs them in, and like, he just steps up. He's cool as you like. And the quality of the penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way. In a European final like that, as confident as you like, unbelievable.
Big pressure.
Yeah, people dismiss it, and I've seen it's only to downplay Ben Rom. Oh, most of his goals have been penalties. Like, a lot of the penalties that he scored have been big moments. We've seen it this season. A lot of players have not just West Ham, other teams. I mean, like a lot of other teams have seen penalties missed. Saka against us, for example. Like, I've seen it. That guy. Cool as you like. So shout out to Ben Rama.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, better players, and that's no disrespect to Ben Rama, better players have missed penalties in them situations before. And like I said, it's a big moment taking a penalty in a cup final. Whether it is during the game or whether it's in a penalty shootout. And he was so calm and collective, and what a penalty as well. It was. I'm hitting the target. I'm hitting it as hard as I can, because if the keeper gets anything in it, I was going to take the keeper in with him. And he just outfoxed the keeper, and it was just fantastic. So
yeah. So I hadn't even realised this. Hold up. We're doing a transfer show later, Jammy Packs. So we'll do a transfer show soon. We'll talk about Rodriguez, but we can't just skip on the final. El Chica says 100% his career, Dan. We've always backed him. So happy he's officially a legend now, SB22. Didn't realize it's 100% his whole career. This is why it was mad to me that time when we put Paqueta on him. Like, we had Paqueta take 1 this season. I was like, what? Like, apparently he just took it into his own hands. And in that point where we had like Declan Rice taking penalties, I'm like, this guy don't miss penalties. And now he's cemented it. Like, he is our penalty taker. He's our Mark Noble. You
I
know,
think that one that Paqueta took, Dan, I think he made a mistake in that game, didn't he? That led to the goal.
Yeah.
And that's why he took that penalty on himself to say, look, I made the mistake. I'm rectifying my mistake and getting us back into the game. So I'm sure Benny was meant to be on that penalty.
yeah, I think he was. I don't
it.
think like it was a Moyes decision or
Yeah.
anything. I think it was in the moment. And we will talk a bit about Moyes as well, because there's been a lot to say about that. I spoke to a few people there who had their thoughts on Moyes. Everything's up in the air. Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I mean, just to end that, I mean, just when that full-time whistle went, because I still face like we got a lot of time on the clock here, and the last minute equalizer could happen, and it's just like it's it now. We got it. Seeing the players celebrate, seeing them happy, seeing them get their trophy, medals, and lifting up the trophy. Oh, man, it was amazing. And we got those pictures now with the players with their trophies. I had to do the old little social media Twitter thing where like the Spurs account was tweeting a picture. Oh, remember Kane's amazing 17-18 season and what he done, and I had to put a picture of Antonio there. Great season. He didn't do this though, did he? It's beautiful. It's fun little bits like that you get out of it. It's amazing.
Dan, and as we all turned around and said at the start of this season when we were going into this competition, I said it, Ryan said it, you would take 17th in the Premier League and winning a European trophy all day long.
100%.
All I can say is, where did we finish this season? Because I can't remember.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 15.
And this is the thing, you know, we've had a lot of conversations as fans, us, we've all given our opinions, we've all said things where we've kind of been in the moment. And at the end of the day, what this victory has done is kind of overwritten any sort of negative emotion that any of us, the fan base, have been feeling. It's brought everyone together. It just provides almost like a clean slate. We don't forget the bad times because we had a crap season, but at the end of the day, this win is created history, and it's like we're staying up. We've won a cup. You know what I mean? It's about what we do going forward now, and I think the team, the staff, us as fans, we've all got the taste for it now. We've all got the taste. So whatever cup competition it is, or domestically in the league, whatever. We've all had that taste now, and this is kind of what happened a couple of years ago when we got into Europe and we had a good run. We as fans got a taste for it, and almost our palate as fans, it kind of stepped up. We started to get a little bit, you know what I mean? We started to, we say about Moyes, we're like, you know what? Now this is our level. Now we're only in it for like 18 months, but we kind of like, because we've got a taste for it and it's expectations. Do you know what I mean? And I think hopefully. The staff, the players, everyone, this is the level now. This is the bar, you know.
I want it again. I want it again, man. I can't say, right, that's the one you get in your lifetime, or when you're an old man, that's when you have it next. Like, I want that again soon, because it's like a drug. That's addictive. That's like the most addictive drug you can ever have. And wow, give me that anytime. I'll OD on some trophies. no parachute. Forest fan here donates 12 CHF. If anyone knows what CHF is, let us know, because that's interesting. I haven't seen that one, but thank you so much, mate. Every football fan deserves an experience like this at least once in a lifetime. Congratulations, absolutely. And I said this on the watch along. Fans, you know, Burnley fans and Luton fans and Stoke fans and Forest fans, all these fans, these clubs, and you know, that feeling I would love for every fan to experience, that you don't get, you know, follow their team week in, week out, and we've experienced so much crap and, you know, relegations and selling your best players and, you know, just heartache, and maybe times we've got there and we've not gone over the line. Oh, honestly, when I like those fans that aren't, like as Scott said, the Sky Six, like, I think you know, everyone should experience that, like, because that's
the thing is as well. You know, Forest have got 2 European Cups under their belt.
Oh yeah, but a lot of their fans obviously weren't alive.
But I'm sure the fans that weren't alive back then would have loved the opportunity to win a trophy. to be in a European, especially they've been out of the Premier League for so well. They've come back, they've stayed up. I'm sure if you turned around and said to some of them that, would you have wanted to win this trophy, they would have done. And it's just, I said this. I think I said it on the cam yesterday, Dan. I just think, or I said it the other week. Certain teams and certain supporters of teams just got spoiled. They forget that their club once was where we have been, not winning a trophy for X amount of years, and that's why they turn their nose up at this.
And that's where they could be as well in their future. That's very well. Like we've seen it. Like Spurs, haven't won a trophy, and however, even then it was obviously a League Cup, which I would take a League Cup, but for how they talk, you'd think it was leagues and titles. Like Arsenal went 13 years without winning a trophy. They've gone 20 odd without winning the league. Like any team can have that fall from grace. So you've got to savor it, and then you'll go, damn, like I really should have, appreciated those little Carabao or that FA Cup we won then.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You look, Harry Kane scored 30 Premier League goals this season, right? And he's not playing in Europe next season unless he leaves Tottenham.
No,
and he's got a fantastic achievement at Spurs, being their all-time top goal scorer, being England's all-time top goal scorer. They're things that the Tottenham one will probably never get beaten again. The England one we never know, but that may not get beaten for another 30, 40 years. And they're fantastic achievements. But him as a player and as a person, and the fans that have supported Tottenham and are more modern fans of Tottenham, they've not seen their club lift the trophy.
Yeah. This is the thing. The Spurs fan, Tobes, right? He said to me, because we had this argument when I said that, well, you shit on Antonio, but he's got a trophy and Kane hasn't. He's like, well, no one's going to remember that Antonio won a Conference League in the future, but they'll remember Kane, right? Okay, whatever. Kane, he's a great player. He's done great things as an individual. But what has he ever done? What has he ever given fans? He hasn't given them a trophy. He hasn't affected their lives. Yes, he's had big moments in games, scored against Arsenal, all of that sort of thing. But that's forgotten now. There's nothing they can hold on to. He hasn't given them those trophy parades and those amazing moments. And most of the finals he chokes in. Which was why it makes me laugh when everyone was banging on Declan Rice, going, "Oh, Declan Rice ain't worth all this money." Because look at the performance in the final when Kane has bottled final after final after final, and no one says anything. So yeah, well done, Kane. Okay, he's won a couple golden boots for himself. Good for you. What have you done for the fans? And it's not obviously Kane played in for Tottenham. He could play in a better team and do it.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not even. It's not a personal thing with Kane. At the end of the day, you throw it back on the players. If you ask Harry Kane, or anyone for that matter, what would you rather? They are going to take winning something all day long. Just ask Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer will tell you. Do you know what I mean? With all the things that he's achieved. Yeah, he got a Premier League title with Blackburn, but at the end of the day, he wished basically that he would have had a lot more and he could have achieved a lot more if he did that big move to United.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at those. I'm seeing it because it's on to my right. I'm seeing the players on the open top bus parade, all the fans. That experience. Surely, if you're Harry Kane, you trade a little boot trophy, that you've won for that experience, like a little bunt on the side of the pitch. Go, Harry. Here's your little golden boot. Well done for being the top scorer. Good on you for that. Thousands and thousands of fans worshiping and praising you, putting you on a pedestal. Party. Like, come on. Stupid little awards no one remembers. Like, oh, he won a golden boot for England, like when we had the shittest run and loads of penalties. So yeah, he's played in a crap Spurs side, so it's not all his fault. But at the end of the day, don't sit there and tell me that trophies don't matter compared to individual accolades, because that individual accolades are only for the individual. Trophies are for every fan, every player, everyone in the back.
He will be a Spurs legend because he will be the all-time top goal scorer. So he'll always be remembered. Like Jimmy Greaves, but Jimmy Greaves, not 100%, but he actually won stuff. He won a World Cup. You know, when you know he had that mantle of being Spurs' all-time top goal scorer until Kane beat him, but he won trophies.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You've got to set your sights on higher things, like you said, Dan. It's an individual accolade of winning that Golden Boot, and it's been, it's a fantastic achievement for him of what he's achieved for England, what he's achieved for Spurs. But at this moment in time, he's not got an FA Cup winners medal. He's not Premier League winners medal, Champions League, Europa Conference League. He hasn't got none of that, and that is the difference. And as much as the Spurs fans will give us grief for this trophy, I guarantee you now, Kane would trade that Golden Boot for scoring 30 odd goals last season and being a Premier League top goal scorer for having a Cup winners medal. Because
and that experience,
yeah. It's just that accolade of, yes, I've done this for Tottenham as an individual, but I've given you fans this trophy. I've helped lead the club to this trophy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I said. This is why we said it the other night when we said it the other day when we were doing a preview, and I saw some of the comments when I was sitting there and saying with Moyes and Rice, Rice is now held in the same regard as Billy Bonds and Bobby Moore as club legends. Look, Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds, what they did for the club was brilliant, and Moore and Bonds, they're world class players. They're great players. Rice will become, and I think he is now a world class player, but he becomes a legend like them too because he is the captain that led us to a trophy, and he will always be remembered. In 50, 60 years' time, if we don't win another trophy, it will be Moore, Bonds, Rice.
Yeah.
It's etched in stone now. Same as David Moyes. He is in the conversation as Lyle and Greenwood. Lyle and Greenwood are superb managers, brilliant managers, and they're legends. Moyes will now be a legend, and it will pain so many people to see that, as I said, 20, 30, 40 years' time, David Moyes in that regard, because he's got the highest win percentage of a manager of West Ham in the Premier League, and he's delivered our first trophy in 43 years. So he's took a lot of grief, he's took a lot of bashing from the fans, but I'm sorry, he's now a managerial legend in this football club.
Well, we'll talk about a bit about Moyes. I'll get these super chats out of the way. When I say get them out of the way, sorry, I didn't mean say that. I mean read them. Sorry, I'll read the super chats and then we'll talk about that. But I have to add as well, Antonio. Now, no one can dispute that he's a legend because I was trying to say he was a legend before this because highest ever goal scorer for West Ham in the Premier League. I know he didn't score in the final, but he scored the goals on the way to the final. He is an undoubtedly a West Ham legend, whether people like it or not. Top goal scorer, got the trophy, boom, legend. So, good on him. Ben Big, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much, mate. Hope you're well, sir. Watched the final with dad and son at home. It was so good watching us win a trophy together. Thanks for everything this season. Lad's been so good. That's, special memories for your family, Ben. Absolutely. We love to hear it, mate. Jake Ammon, £5 super chat. As an Arsenal fan, I am the one that goes to West Ham games and see you at West Ham. But congrats on a third-rate Trophy Roots final. Wait, our bodyguard, leave it out, bodyguard. This is our bodyguard. Who, when some drunk fans come, he took them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is. By the way, Arsenal have the easiest route every FA Cup. To every FA Cup.
Don't entertain it, mate. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all positivity.
Let them throw stones. Let them throw stones. It's all they're just trying to rile it up.
Our house ain't made of glass no more. You know what I mean? We got some bricks up there, mate. So don't worry. We're fine. But yeah, we've said a lot. What was about the parade? We've got to talk about David Moyes because he has had a lot of stick this season. Me, one of the most prominent probably voices of that stick, I will say it.
You never.
Just a little bit of stick I might have given him. And a couple of people said to me, "Oh, would you apologize to David Moyes? Do you regret what you've said? Do you regret what he is?" And I said, "No, I won't apologize, but I will thank him." for what he's done on the way to that, because I still feel I was justified in my criticism, because we did spend a lot of money and we were facing relegation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only the point, because Antonio come out and said it. We persisted with that, trying to transition to possession-based football. Persisted. I can understand why he persisted in it. From what Antonio was saying, because we wanted to get the players used to playing it. That bedding in process. Next season, it's long. The more time you can get experience and playing that way, the better. But it got to the point now where it was just like, we need to get points on the board. We need it, and we went like 3 months without a win. I'm sorry. I believe there was justification for fans going, we need a change. We're in trouble. But I look at yesterday and I said, fair play.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him yesterday, smiling, dancing there with his dad, it's like, he cut such a dour and stern figure on a weekly basis. It's so hard for you to warm to the man. It's so hard to sympathize with the man. But when you see him, he humanizes himself.
Mm-hmm.
He humanizes himself, and he becomes like, wow, like, yeah, he has the passion for this, and he loves it, and it, you start to warm to the guy. So I just like, fair play. I was so happy for him. For his dad was there to see it. His dad was a big part of getting him into football and his career. So look, whatever happens next season, like, I still feel, personally, if I'm leaning one way or another, that change is probably for the better for both us and Moyes. But if he does stay, I'm willing to give him a chance. Like, he's done an amazing job, like I said, and I'll even say it: third best manager now in our history, third best.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still put Lau and Greenwood above for many reasons. The football they played, won, trophies, icons, legends, upper level. But yeah, man, he's done it, and he's part of the reason that gave us that amazing experience. So yeah, thank you, David Moyes. And look, if you're still here, you go again, you get another chance. If not, thank you, all the best. And on the CV, it looks great. Finished 6th, got us Europa League, European semi-final, got us 7th into the Conference League, wins the Conference League, gets us back into Europe 3 seasons in a row. Fair play. Fair play.
This is the thing. You've got to give him credit where credit's due. Look, it hasn't been pretty this season. He tried to, my criticism was we were trying to try this possession-based football, and to be honest, I didn't really see it. I never saw us play possession-based football until we played teams in this competition. In the early stages, in the group stages. That's the only time I see us play possession-based football. I thought we were playing counter-attack football all season long. And, I've criticised him a lot. I've not jumped up and down the way some people have to get him out, but I've criticised him. And, at the end of the day, this is a results-based business. So you have to take the rough with the smooth. And I think Moyes has been in the game a long time to take it on the chin when the fans were sitting there saying they wanted him gone. But at the end of the day, that's all forgotten now because of the winning that trophy. Like you said, you see how much it meant to him to win that trophy the other night. To have your dad who's followed your career for that length of time that he has, from when he was a player to all the way through the manager, that was such a special moment for David Moyes to give his dad the medal and all that, and to be there with his dad. Look, if our kids went on to play football or be managers and win trophies, you would love to be in that position Moyes' dad was, to be there with him, because I'm sure he was so proud of him, seeing him do that over the long career that he's had. And look, it's fresh slate next season. We've got a big summer coming up. Whether Rice is with us or not, I hope he is with us. I hope he stays with us for a lot longer, and I hope he achieves more and gives us more trophies. But whether he is or not, this is a massive, massive summer for us as a club, for Moyes if he's here, and all them players. So we like you were saying, bro, we've got a taste of it. We want more now. So these boys have they can achieve that. They've shown they can achieve that, so they've got to push on and do it next season now for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, look, Moyes has got thick skin, and you kind of need to be when you're in a position of a manager, or whether you're, us content creators, whatever, there's an element of it where you need thick skin. And Moyes has demonstrated that. I think he'll be the first to say he hasn't been happy with the performance and how the season's been in general. And yeah, he did try to change it. I mean, look, there's so many reasons why the season was what it was, and it all started from almost this time last year, in terms of the summer we had last year, getting slow out the blocks when it come to making signings, the bad luck we suffered when it comes to injuries. There's lots of reasons, and Moyes tried to change it up and basically do something that he's never ever done in his whole managerial career, and it didn't work. And I think, like, when I posed this question in the podcast a few weeks back about, if he wins this, would you keep him, etc., etc. Like, my thing then was, if he wins, you kind of have to. You kind of have to. You kind of have to keep him, even if it's a thing where you're keeping him to October, yeah, or Christmas, whatever. You kind of got to give him that opportunity, yeah. And as you said, Scott, it's all about the summer now. It's all about what we do going forward, because it's only a quick reset. Let's enjoy this win. All the players, staff, everyone enjoy it. But the work's on now. There's so much decisions that are riding on this summer and how we move forward. The pressure is still very much going to be on Moyes. Very much going to be on Moyes. But I feel we have to kind of look back on a lot of the things, a lot of the big decisions that were being made, with the board backing him and stuff. There's so much stuff that if it went the other way, we could have been in a different situation. Do you know what I mean? So, like Dan said, it's one of those ones where we have to show gratitude collectively. And I think everyone has. I think with his hard exterior, he has softened up in the last month. Do you know what I mean? He's not throwing like he was a little while ago, throwing a few bombs at the fans, because he was angst. He was basically angst, yeah. But he's lightened up a little bit. We've seen that. We've seen how what it's meant to him, yeah, and we've seen how the players have responded to that. And I think because of that, we just got to be like, what, thank you, and let's move on. And but the expectation shouldn't change though. We want to play a brand of football. We want to be doing certain things that are different to what we've experienced over the last 8-9 months. So that shouldn't change. So that's why I feel the pressure is still very much going to be on him. But this is a big opportunity for him now, in order to, he's had the last season to kind of look and reflect, and what can do differently. Let's get the scouting out there. What positions do we need? Who's going to be for the block, etc.
Obviously, Moyes identified that the way we play isn't sustainable, which is why he decided to try something else, to change it, to try and maintain our status around that top 7, top 6, right? So that's why, like, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, this possession, how I wanted to play, do I need different players for it? Does this need to come in and learn? Or do we need to find another system? Like, either way, if he's staying, like, Sullivan's not going to sack him. He said it, he's staying, right? He's not getting sacked. Question marks is over whether he chooses to walk away there. I see Sean Whetstone posted or shared a story someone posted about him potentially walking away. Obviously, Celtic will be an option. Boyhood club. They've just lost a manager. So, yeah, maybe he just goes, you know what? It was a rough old season, but I've won that trophy. I'm going to leave on a high. Or maybe he gets the hunger and he goes, let's go. I can right the wrongs. I've learned my lessons. I've learned from my mistakes. This is what we need. Like, we just need decisive, cohesive decision-making early on. Plan, strategy. Getting in as director of football, yes. But Moyes, if he's staying, has to be big in on those, on that vision, because we can't just, here's some players that we like, make it work. Like, we have to, they've sit down collectively, right, how are we going to play? What's the profile of player we need? Apparently they're going and looking at Premier League proven players, which I think obviously is a good idea if we want that short term bounce where we don't have to worry about bedding in, where we've got the players now that are bedding in, the Paquetas and players like that, Emerson, who obviously had Premier League experience, but Kerr, for example, Skamaka if he stays. That's what I worry about, because Antonio could be leaving. I worry about that if Moyes stays, he has to find a different way of playing, because every way we're set up now, you need Antonio, and there's not many players like Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So if Antonio leaves and we play like this, like we've shown, we try other strikers, it don't work. So we have to change. We have to find a way to build this team around Skamaka if he stays, or get another striker in.
Yeah, the thing is if you look at it's an evolution, isn't it? We've tried to evolve this season, it's not worked, so we've reverted back. But the players that we've brought in, the Paquetás, the Skamakas, right? Skamaka spent a long time injured, but like you said, Emerson had the experience. Cornet, another one who got injured. Kera coming in, they've come to the front. Kera and Paquetá especially come to the front at the right time. Kera's last performances, even in the final, we put in that block, in the second half when he come on. And again, it's like key moments and key times that these players shine. So now that they've evolved their game, they've got used to the Premier League. Skamaka's, if he does stay, he needs to now be the focal point. We've got to move away from this having Antonio up top, barging through players, wrestling with players, that type of thing. We need to now look at that, get Skamaka in the game, get him on the ball, look to link up him and Paquetá and Benny and Bowen and players like that. So I think with the Premier League proven players, if you bring in the right scope of players, whether they're 28, 29 years old, for a good 2-3 seasons, it then gives you that opportunity. We've got a fantastic under-18 side. We've heard that there's 4 or 5 in there that they're potentially looking to bring through into the first team, into the fold. And it gives you that time then to start bedding them into the positions that they want to do. Obama, he looks a great prospect. And Dan, when we watch that cup final, there's some good prospects there that need to be bedded in, and that's the thing, players like James Ward-Prowse are going to be available in the summer. James Ward-Prowse on free kicks and corners with players like Skamaka, Souček, Zuma, Aguerd, Declan Rice if he's there. The delivery that guy could put into the box, that could give you 10 to 15 goals a season. That propels you up the league already just by bringing in an experienced, 28, 29-year-old Premier League player. So it's you can do that and bring in experience so long as they're the right players. You don't want to be getting a 32, 33-year-old player who's on their last legs looking for their last paycheck like we've done in the past. But a 28, 29-year-old player who's got that Premier League experience, who knows what the Premier League, and he's going to help us transition into a different side and play a different style of football, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt Rainey's spot on it. Tell you what, the best is for us is Lingard turning us down for Forest. He has been released, and we got Paqueta, who is insane. And I hadn't even thought of Lingard.
That's Matt Powell, not Matt Rainey.
Yeah.
Did I say right? Sorry, Matt Powell. sorry, Matt. Yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't even thought of Lingard until I was watching against the parade stuff, and Mrs. was like, said, "Oh, is that Lingard?" I was like, "No, he don't play for us anymore." Yeah, Lingard. I thought he must be watching this and thinking, "I could have been there. I could have been a part of that." But he chose money, he chose Forest. Now look, he's been released and his career's on the downturn.
There's so many sliding doors moments. I mean, say if we got Onana, the one who went to Everton instead, our season perhaps could have been different if he came in for Souček. If Lingard was in and we didn't get Paqueta again, we'll never know, because the role that Lingard played in the team and the way how we done that counter-attack with him in the 10, it basically reduced Souček's need to be on the ball. He didn't need to be on the ball. He just needed to do ghost runs and do defensive and attacking headers. So there's so many different sort of situations with personnel. Things could have been different, but I wouldn't swap it now, obviously. And even if Lingard, he's on a free now, I wouldn't take him now, because it would just it wouldn't work. It just.
I tell you what, if Moyes even looks in his direction, sack him on the spot. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Right, and take his trophy medal away from him as well, because we do
I
not
think-
touch him with the barge pole.
Yeah, the Lingard, it was a nice romantic story for the period that he was here. I think we got the best out of that player.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll be able to recreate that now. And I think he's proved that at Forest.
Yeah.
You know, we dodged the bullet. We really did.
I think he has a better season for us than Forest. I think going into that team with so many changes, he was coming back into a team that was, if we did continue to play how we were going to play, this is the question: how does Lingard look in in the way we did try to play this possession-based style? That's big question marks. That might not work, but we know his counter-attacks were deadly. Him on the counter, absolutely deadly. And if we played like that, we could have maybe again played to his strengths and got something. But we got Paqueta. Scott can't make up his mind how to say it. Scott says Paqueta, Paqueta, or Paqueta. He changes it every single time he says it.
Listen, I've been told that it's a silent U. So you know.
So Scott, yeah, it's like packets, or like a packet of crisps, yeah.
Yeah.
Packet, yeah, tar, like packet tar, yeah.
Packet tar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to get someone's name wrong through the season, so you know
you have to get everyone's name wrong. Honestly, he still says Kufau sometimes.
Oh, I do that as well. I'm not gonna lie.
To be honest, right now, you remember Slav, who used to come over Upton Park? He turned around and said Kufau was the right way to say it.
Okay.
But
Kufau was the right way to say it. And he comes from that sort of region.
Yeah, it's Sufal, yeah. Because when I was doing that, I was doing the transfer. I always say to someone, when I talk about a player, tell me how to say it. Someone told me, and it'll always be someone in that country. And someone said like SU foul, right? And I was like, cool, I've got it. But yeah, so listen, we got to talk about the parade. We were all there. We're all in the Stratford end. We all went to the Stratford end, and like I said earlier, like if you couldn't be in Prague, man, wow, that was incredible. You know what I mean? I said to you, Scott, yesterday, like the closest thing that comes to it was the last game at Upton Park, except that had an undercurrent of sadness to it.
Yeah.
This was just pure joy and elation, like no sadness, no bittersweet. It was just, man, like I walked around Stratford, like I was just looking, I was stunned. I was like, I used to hang around these streets like a lot when I was younger. I used to be around there all the time, and now I'm seeing it flooded with West Ham fans. You can't even move, and people on the bus stop roof, and it was just electric. The atmosphere, the buzz, the excitement in the air, and to be a part of it and see so many West Ham fans happy, the happiness. The smile. Some bloke made a killing on these flags. I tell you, 20 quid a pop.
Yeah,
God,
literally.
Guys, I looked at, what's it, 5ers, 10ers? I might consider that. Jace comes up to me, you send them for 20 quid. I went, what? Definitely like a waving them around, but fair play. You do what you do, and it was just the best day. It really was.
Sorry, go on, Scott.
No, go on, mate. Go.
Yeah, no. Listen, if I could bottle that feeling, I would. It would be priceless. It was absolutely amazing. The emotion in everyone. People bringing their kids and stuff. Like you said, Dan. There was a guy near me who was up in the tree. That was hilarious. Another guy.
You see that guy? The guy. And we were looking at him. We like, because this is like a flimsy, like willow tree type thing, and he's doing that. He's swinging like a crazy fucking, like he's gonna do himself a mischief. Because I don't know if you saw the other guy. We were watching him. They were climbing up the shop ledge or whatever. These girls climbed up. Yeah, so there were slats to get onto this roofing of this shop. So these girls climbed up, and this young lad climbed up. They got up, and they're sitting up there quite high. And this other bloke comes along. He climbs, he can't quite get it. He drops, and we're like, where's he gone? Is he like he climbs, and he's sort of nearly there, drops, cuts the side of his face up. And he finally everyone's now invested in this guy. Like, is he gonna make it? Most people wanted him to drop just for entertainment because we're waiting for the bus still at this point.
Yeah.
And he finally makes it. And we look at him, and he's like, his whole side of his face cut up. And then about like 10 minutes later, he got down, didn't he? Didn't even stay up there.
Yeah. I didn't get that. Like the two young women, they stayed up there. All the others climbed up and then climbed back down. I'm thinking,
yeah, I
made
think
a meal of
the
getting
tree
up
was
there.
in the
What's
way.
jumping down for?
I think the reason is the view weren't as great from there. Like,
Yeah.
but like you said, Brian, the guy in the tree bus stop, with it. Amazing.
Definitely.
You were KFC, weren't you? Like around the other side.
Yeah, I was around that bit, and then the vibes, the atmosphere was just absolutely electric. Everyone was just happy. There was emotion. When the players did come, that just added to the energy like tenfold. And the thing is, the players were loving it as much, and I was just getting so much joke, and like Paqueta as well was making me laugh in terms of like. He was just vibing. Everyone was just vibing, and it just brought a lovely energy.
Was the MVP of the parade.
Yeah.
That guy is the life and soul of the party. He was loving it.
Yeah,
He was unbelievable on the
Nah,
mic.
trust me.
Do you know what? It was great being in Stratford, but I see I see Ginger Carroll's in the chat, and I know he has messaged me, so I've got to get back to him on this. But he was in I think he was at the Boleyn, and he followed it up like Barking Road and stuff like that. And it was just you sort of, we were there at Stratford, we were there at the end, and it was a fantastic thing. But you sort of like, it would have been nice to follow it, be there from the Boleyn and come behind it and all that, because that was a proper. West Ham route, weren't it? I know East Ham's the main town hall and all that type of thing. And in 1980, that's where it went. But that's because we were at Upton Park. But I think it was good the club started it at Upton Park at the statue, and then come back, because it was like the transition from the old to the new.
Yeah.
It was backwards in the town halls, because we've gone from like near the new town hall to the old town hall.
Yeah.
But it was a transition from old to new, leaving Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Martin Peters, and coming to Stratford, where the new memories and the new legends are all going to be made. And it was good. It had a good feel to it.
It's a bit of a hefty walk as well. I've done that walk a few times.
Yeah.
I would have done it, but I looked at it and I thought like, oh, do you know what? I want to, because I know the main event is in Stratford, so I kind of want to get a spot. I don't want to like be to the point where I'm so far back I can't see it. And obviously I went there fairly early, got some interviews with the fans, which you can go and watch, and like try to get in. And so I would have, like you said, loved to experience that walk up.
Would have been a mission though. Would have been a mission.
Yeah, it would have been a mission. But the getting there and the anticipation and of the thing coming, it was great. And just being in Strat, just looking around and soaking it in and waiting for them to come. And then I was a bit, because I thought the bus was gonna, like, we see the bus park up, but we just see him sort of come up onto the stage. And it was amazing. Scott was using the helicopter watching, going, all the helicopters are getting a bit closer now, I'll be here soon. And I tell you, that Chris Scroll, right, his concept of 3 minutes is dreadful. 3 minutes, they'll be here. 10 minutes later, they're going to be here in 3 minutes, everyone. Jesus. But it was, I can't even describe it. Just, that's amazing. That place, I said.
I went back and watched like news coverage. That's why I kind of went back to watch news coverage, because like you're both saying, in terms of following the bus and the route and stuff, like the news coverage kind of captured that really well and stuff. And it was good, man. Good.
And just seeing the players, like, I think they really, and I said this on other show, I think it was eye-opening for them, because I said this on the 12th man. No one can ever tell me West Ham ain't a big club. No one, because we packed out the streets of Newham with not even 24 hours notice, right? Yeah. It was like 14, 15 hours notice, right? We've got 30,000 in Prague. And the very next day, trophy parade. You got fans have to try and arrange to get there from all around the country. You got a lot of fans that hung over. Some fans still got to go to work, and we packed it out, man. Yeah, like for this trophy, that says everything. We are a big club. Don't let anyone tell you different. And the song says West Ham are massive. Believe it. It's not just a little self-deprecating bit of irony. We're a big club. We have big fan base, and we have the best fans in the world. Honestly, it was amazing yesterday. Absolutely amazing.
And the thing is as well, you know, like you said, you've got all them ones that were still stuck out in Prague, you know, who couldn't get back in time. I know there's a few people. I think Cess was one of the lucky ones who got a flight back and actually made it to the parade as well. So, you know, it's good to see. But I follow a lot of the foreign fans groups on Instagram and things like that, and the amount of people there with them, you know, the guys in New York, guys in you know, all over the world, and the amount of fans we've got there now, you know, and the club's just growing, and these fan groups are getting bigger and bigger, and it's so nice to see that, you know, see these, you know, these people, you know, we've seen a few come over to the games of from, you know, from America and things like that, who come and say hello to us, and, you know, the Irish lads come over and see us quite a bit, but it just shows that this club is growing and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's nights like the other night that will help grow it, and we'll get to meet more of these people we see in the chat. You know, you see people in the chat. I know Ryan, he's over in Australia. There's a few others over in Australia who watch the channel.
You know, in America.
Yeah, you know, and they're up at crazy times or late times to watch these games, you know, and it's just, you know, it's just.
I do want to see. That's my next step, is after soaking in all the stuff like the parade, the game again, is I want to go and seek out that footage of the fans around the world watching it in their pubs, and that's what I want. If anyone wants to send that to me, I'd love to see. Otherwise, I'm going to seek that out. Just seeing that, it's like crazy to me. You know, you see these people like in America or Australia that are like so invested in the club as we are, and it means as much to them. Like, that's amazing. And just like I said, they see in that you could see just the players were like Rice. They were stunned. That turnout, they could not believe it. You could see it, and it meant so much to them. And I think they realized, like, wow, we do play for a big club. This is an amazing fan base. We want to give them more moments like this. We want to share more moments like this. It's going to help attract other players. It's going to help keep players that we've got. Yeah, man, we are the best fan base in the world.
You see, have you watched back the BT coverage of Declan Rice where he films the crowd singing like 2 more years, 3 more years, and all that?
Yeah, he was singing along with it at one point. He was singing it.
Yeah, you know, I think Nobe sums it up as well, and I think you see that in that final how much this football club actually does mean to Declan Rice. You know,
he loves it.
Yeah, whatever he chooses to do, if he chooses to go, you know, if he chooses to say whatever he does, he will always be, you know, a legend for me at this football club. And, you know, I wish him well. You know, as long as he doesn't celebrate if he ever scores against us, as long as he don't go Spurs or Arsenal, he can go with my blessing. You know, but it shows, you know, he appreciates the fans, he appreciates the club, and I think, you know, he feels the club, if you get what I mean. You know, it showed, you know, he was crying quite a lot during them celebrations.
I think he's a Hammer for life. I think that wherever he goes, West Ham will always be the club in his heart. West Ham, it will bleed claret and blue. He could go to Man City or, you know, heaven forbid, Arsenal or something. He could win a trophy or two there. He will never be as loved as he is at West Ham, and he will never feel as much of a connection to the fans as he does at West Ham. Like, and that is a fact. And whenever he hangs up his boots, he will be remembering West Ham. He will be a West Ham boy. He'll be connected with this club. He won't be like a Rio Ferdinand who forgets us and is a Man United fan all of a sudden. He will come back, and he'll be West Ham for life. That's what I say.
Definitely.
Damien Diamico. What's that accent I'm doing there? £5 sorry, Damien. £5 super chat. Divine Mubama, career trophies 1, Harry Kane career trophies 0. Irons. Thank you for that, Damien, and very true. And you know what? The songs as well. Just the songs were brilliant yesterday. Yeah, like the DJ was a little bit behind at points because there was times they wanted to sing "Sold My Car" to Lucas Paqueta, and then he was playing like fucking another's like Bowen's on Fire or So
Yeah.
Saeed Ben Rama. When we've just finished singing Oh Saeed Ben Rama, we want to go into the next one now. And like but still all the same, it was brilliant. He had all the West Ham songs going, and I gotta say, like, I have to say, because when it first came out, right, that you probably remember this, Scott, that Bowen song, right?
Yeah.
I was a bit sketchy on it. I was a bit like a bit dodgy. I don't know about that song, mate. I don't know. It sounds a bit, and there was reports that like his missus didn't like it. I thought maybe we just don't sing forever. But I tell you what, after this, mate, that song was growing up. I was singing it, mate. I was singing along with that song, mate. I was absolutely loving it.
Have you seen the DR Sports interview with Danny Dyer?
Danny Dyer, yeah.
He said it's a compliment on both hands.
True.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bowen's on fire.
Yeah.
And he's shagging Danny Dyer. It's a double compliment.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
And then he goes, yeah, sometimes I start it off myself.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things like Bowen's probably got to that point, like he's not just a bloke that's, you know, in his daughter. He's like now it's his son-in-laws, they've got kids together. Yeah. You know, there's all of that stuff, their family. I'd love to hear his missus' thoughts on it, because there was that point. The players absolutely love it. And I've never seen Bowen sing it himself. He probably knows. He'll probably get slapped when he goes home.
He was singing it.
He was singing it, man. Yeah,
I see him dancing to it, and the players are most players don't sing their own song anyway. Yeah. Like they just stand there and they'll soak it in. Like Ben Rama, when they sing Ben Rama, he was loving it. You can see how the players love him and Paqueta. And they were loving it, man. And the players, man, the togetherness of these players, it's so good. And like I said, it just puts all that shit out the window. All that shit, all that negative, it's just wiped away everything. And what was been so good is what I haven't seen this, and I would be like one of the number one targets to come at, but I haven't seen people giving it so much I told you so, or like the Moyes in is going, oh, like, yeah, you didn't want more, you wanted Moyes out. And now, you know, what you said, everyone's just enjoying it. Everyone's just being together. Yeah. And that's what matters. It's not about, well, no one's arguing about should Moyes have been sacked, who was right, what camp was you in? Everyone's just enjoying it together and unified. And that's beautiful, because it's been so divided.
That's right. Just everyone and that's how it needs to be. Everyone just be in the moment. Let's really enjoy this, and let's keep it moving. Definitely.
So $30.99 Australian dollars, I believe that is Ryan King, with a blank thing. I don't know if Ryan followed up. Thank you very much, Ryan, for the Aussie dollars. So
you've got to give the accents a rest, mate.
What did I say? Is that an accent? The Aussie dollars?
You try to say that.
Mate, the Aussie dollars. I don't know. Cheers, mate. So yeah, but we'll talk about. I did see that clip. It was beautiful to see. It's good. A lot of people have crapped on Ben Rama. It's good to see him so loved. But yeah, we're talking about everyone being unified, positivity, happiness. We got away. I hate to end on this. We'll probably put some nice little positive thing on the end of it. But while everyone is happy, enjoying themselves, you know, they're not even like 12 hours from the trophy win. You wake up, you can see clip on TalkSport. David Sullivan decided to, you know, he couldn't wait. He had to go run to TalkSport, get on there ASAP. You know, I imagine, like, I didn't hear it. I saw the quote. I heard the clip. I imagine it was Jim White, his little buddy. But he goes on there. He's probably gone on there to revel in it and to answer questions about the trophy win. Naturally, gets asked about Declan Rice. Instead of doing what Declan Rice did, you know, I've got 2 years here. I'm happy. I love this club. Look, there's a lot of talk, but right now I'm a West Ham player and I've got 2 years here. That's what he said. You know, that was his question. Let's read that, because he didn't get his message out. Ryan King, connect to his super chat. I'm not going to do the accent. A little starter for the Perth trip to watch us show the trophy to Tottenham. Love it. Cheers, Ryan. Sorry about the accent. Yeah. So Right. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Rice gave the perfect answer. And I thought that was kind of tacky I understand she's in a position, oh, I want to get the big scoop. I thought that was tacky from her to ask him that in that moment when it was just about the trophy win. Um, yeah,
Sorry,
the
man,
pink
go on.
suit center. Yeah, fair play, right? I'm gonna keep trying. So yeah, I thought that was very tacky from Pink Suit to ask him that in that moment in the final, and it was just a bit uncomfortable. But he tackled it perfectly. Still got 2 years left on my deal. As things stand, I'm a West Ham player. I'm here for 2 years. Whatever happens is up in the air. Bang, perfect. Diverts it, deals with that, and I felt good about that answer. I was like, yes, like keeps the good feeling of going. Even if he does go, even if it deludes us for another month, it just puts us back in. Wow, I think's good. Look, Rice loves us. He's happy here. 2 years, whatever. Right, we deal with that. Next day, morning after, Sullivan goes on and they ask him about Rice. Rice is going. It's his last season at West Ham. We tried to offer him a deal 18 months ago for 200 grand a week, which he left out, by the way. That it was an 8-year contract, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to sort of sum up. Well, we've tried to get him to stay, but he didn't accept the 200 grand a week. Yeah, 8 years, you fool. So comes out and says that, and just immediately starts to just douse the flames of happiness of the West Ham fans. Like all of a sudden now, we're put in a negative mindset. You're starting to think like, oh, well, now, it's not all about the trophy parade. It's about Declan Rice. And you're just telling us Rice is good. We kind of know Rice is good. We don't want to talk. We don't want to hear about that. We still want to hold up maybe to the 2% chance that maybe we might get one more year Declan Rice, and you're just emphatically saying, nope, he's gone. Like, I thought that was disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And the thing is, I looked at him in that when the medals were coming out. I see him in his claret coat. I'll never go to being a Sullivan lover or a Sullivan fan, but I was starting to like soften. You go, you know what? Even we're all happy. Like, you're there, you got to see it. It's been a hard road. We've been back and forth, and we've given you a lot of stick, but you're there. Good on you, right? And then all of a sudden, puts the negative attention on himself again. You're thinking, no, you get out of my club. Get out of my club, you absolute disgrace of a man. He always has to open his mouth. He always has to talk, and that's the worst time. Shut your mouth and let us enjoy this. Let us enjoy this, because I feel like we're here in spite of David Sullivan, not because. And we haven't talked about him for a long time. We used to talk about him every week, didn't we, Scott? Used to be a running thing. The board, Sullivan. All we haven't even as crap as things have been this season. We ain't put smoke on him. He's brought it on himself. And honestly, I cannot wait for him to go. I absolutely cannot wait for him to go. No one can justify that to me. Absolute clown, disgrace. Get out.
I'm not going to justify it then, but that is him putting his business hat on, right? So you look at Declan Rice now. He is a prize asset. He is now club captain, a European winning club captain. And he's just turned around and said, yeah, we've got a gentleman's agreement. He can go in this summer. Just basically saying to everyone, he's available. We're not going to stop him going if the price is right. It's like a TV advert. He took his best motor, flashed it up on the screen and said, you want to buy this? It's available to buy. And he's done it from a business perspective at the right time.
I disagree with that.
Everything for West Ham is up here. The West Ham stock is up here, and he's gone, if you want him, come get him.
No, I
don't agree with it.
That weakened your hand. I don't think that's a good decision.
I don't think he does, because he knows that it's not going to be one club going, oh, yeah, we'll give you... Like with Payet. Let's use Payet, for example, right? Payet was only ever going to one club. That club he was going to held all the cards, right? Sullivan and the spin that they put on and with Payet going, they were trying to offer him he was going one place. And in the end, they went, 25 mil, here you go. At the time, Europeans' best player, 25 mil. Thank you very much. Back to Marseille. Declan Rice has got the world at his feet. He's got every single big club looking at him. Madrid are looking at him. They probably won't sign him because they've just signed Jude Bellingham. Bayern Munich are looking at him. Arsenal, Man City, Man United. Chelsea, if they were in Europe, would be looking at him. You know, so all he's done is that we've got a gentleman's agreement that he can go. We're not stopping him from going. So it puts the ball back in Rice's corner of we're not the bad people. You know, you asked us, we agreed, you know, handshake, all that type of thing, you could go. But this is my prize asset. If you want him, come get him.
I completely disagree with everything you just said, Scott. And I'll tell
Let
you
me
why.
Let me jump in. Right. It's important to kind of like, in situations like this is good because, you know, we've got to, you know, to create an argument, you've got to have two sides, right? I want to play devil's advocate because, to be honest with you, I am leaning towards Scott's way of it. I see it different as well in terms of, like, for me, I think Sullivan just said, look, he's gone. Now, if I'm looking at in layman's terms, in terms of what he said he's played his last game. He's pretty much said he's played his last game. He wanted to leave. We've agreed, you know, we said, you know what I mean, we'll let you go if you honor, you know, you play well, basically you give your all, we'll let you go. The guy wants to go, yeah. I'm not mad. I'm not too bothered about it. You know, I'm not. It's like the Antonio thing, and we probably won't get into that. But I definitely won't bothered about that, and I'm happy to justify that. But speaking about Sullivan, and I tell you why I'm not too bothered about it. Yeah, like you said, it is a business decision for one. Like you said, it's a business decision for one in terms of him bringing it up. Two, I feel it kind of takes the heat off Rice a little bit because we could have like this going on for weeks, if not months, of speculation and it winding us up as fan base, media talking about it every single day. Is Rice staying? He's going all this tittle tattle. He's just come out and just put a you know, put a pin in the balloon and popped it. Said, yeah, he's off. Played his last game. That's that. The only thing we as fan base can really moan about is timing, and it's the same with the Antonio thing. That's all we really got is timing because we want to hold on to this sentiment. There's 85 to 90% of us, if we're being honest with ourselves, we all felt that was Rice's last game prior to the game being played. Yeah. And there was probably 10-15% of us that still had hope. There's probably still about 10% of us now that still has hope because this probably still has twists and turns in it. Even in terms of if he does go where he goes, I feel it might not be cut and dry like everyone thinks with Arsenal. And there could be some other suitors coming in to just mix it up. But I just feel he's basically said it as it is. He said it what we all know already. And the thing is, yeah, all of us in the fan base, we don't really, you know what I mean, we don't really check for Sullivan, okay? So because of that, if you don't warm to someone, anything that they do that is not to your liking, we're going to have a negative perception of it. That's period. It's the same with Antonio. For those that is because Antonio can be like Marmite with the fan base, yeah. And the moment, or say like a Suchek, the moment lose a ball in the game, what do? We go, straight away we all pipe up because of our own personal thoughts and feelings. So it's the same with Sullivan. So there ain't no defending here. Don't get it twisted. I'm not defending. I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it broadly, and I'm just looking at the situation and what he's actually done. He's come out and said the guy's played his last game, right? And like Scott said, he's kind of put it back onto Rice now. If someone comes in, it meets the evaluation of the club, then it's for Rice to say, yeah, he's gone. The club will accept the bid if it's in excess of what they evaluate him for. And then it's down to him. All this stuff about timing and all that, when is the right time? When is the right time? I'm of the view nowadays, and I've changed because I never used to be like this, but I actually want people to be more transparent now when they're talking about whatever they're talking about. I don't want them to hide behind and play the game, particularly when we as fans, we know the truth. Yeah, you get my respect more if you tell me how it is. I might not like it, but I can't, you know, if you're telling me how it is, then fair enough. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's come out and he said how it is, and I feel that's gonna kill it dead. Other than us as fans, yeah, getting angry about it, and to a degree, rightly so. Other than us, everyone would see it. Even in terms of the media, it's killed the media dead. Sullivan's come out and said Rice has played his last game. That's the news strap. So now it's the focus on where is he going. So with that 10% of us that are still holding on to that possibility of him staying, that's up to you. But for me, in my mind, I've come to the conclusion in my mind that Rice will not be here next season unless some sort of twist and turns happen that no one could predict. And I'm not going down the sentiment thing. That's what kills us, man. Sentiment. We hold on to certain things. We need to move forward. And like you said, it's about that evolution now of the team changing. We all felt the same, whether it's Pyatt or whoever our folk heroes were, we felt the same. But we move forward, man. And sometimes it might be a thing where different personnel means that other players step up. Do you know what I mean? The team's very reliant on Rice. Do you know what I mean? And I would love him to stay if the situation, but at the same time, we're cheating the guy's career. He's 24, he's in his prime now. I want him to go and win stuff because he always will be a West Ham legend. And if he goes with my blessing. I don't want to even this thing about stay for a year, sell him for 60. Nah, man, I want to maximize everything we get for him. And I want him to win everything. I want him to win everything. He has my backing in every aspect. He's done what he's done for us now. Staying for another year is not going to propel us anywhere, in my opinion.
Now, Scott, don't you dare come in. Don't you fucking dare come in right now because I am fucking raring to go on this.
Go on.
I am raring because I disagree with you both so much. Everything you both have said. And you was about to come in and go, yeah, mate. Yeah, that's right. You're right. No, sit down. This. Right. Basically, I've got to try and there's so much to cover from what you guys have said. When is the right time to say it? Not the morning after a trophy win, where you're turning the story, all the social media, everything's about, West Ham, look at the scenes, lifting the trophy, amazing, first English team. Everything's on that to forget all that. Fucking Sullivan said breaking news. Sullivan said this, Sullivan said that. Story's all about Sullivan. You don't hear other chairmen doing this. This idea to be a business tactic that he said it's the worst kept secret in football. Rice is going. We all know it. These clubs, they're not just going, fuck, Sullivan said Rice is for sale. Shit, everyone, get ready. Let's go and buy Rice. We all got to buy Rice because he said he's for sale. We all know it. We all know it. When you say something, when you come out and say emphatically, he is gone. He's played his last game. He does not want to stay here. You weaken your hand. The same way our hand was weakened with Pyatt. Everyone knew he wanted to go. He refused to train. He became less valuable because of that. Because they know if we don't accept their price, we've got an unhappy player that's not going to contribute to the team.
Pyatt was only going one place because Pyatt only wanted to go one place.
We know that, but that was part of it was public knowledge, Scott. What I'm saying is, if Pyatt was a happy player that wanted to stay there, right, and would happy, and he signed his deal, but and we would say we're keeping him, we're maintaining that line, he's staying, we get more money. What's more? What do you have to pay more for? Something that someone doesn't want to sell. Or someone's like, yeah, we've got to sell this. If this is a house, I've got to sell this house. I've got to get out of it. What have you got to pay more for? That or a house down there? I grew up in this house. I don't want to move it, right?
But with Rice, we haven't got to sell him.
That's right. That's what I mean. We don't have to sell him. It's a win-win, man.
Scott, I'm going to strangle you. I've got so much to unpack, right? We haven't got to sell him. No, but you've just said that there's no way that he's staying. You've just said we're selling him. You've just said Rice is going. He refuses to sign a new deal. There's no way you can say it doesn't change anything. That does not strengthen your hand. It does not all of a sudden get loads of clubs coming in because they was coming in anyway. That's why we've all known he's going, because clubs have been testing the waters for Rice for seasons now. We've had bids before, but this is the season. They know, well, he's got 1 year with an extension, right? There's rumors, noises all coming out. You don't need to go on TalkSport and say he's played his last game, he's going, to get more money or to get more bids. That doesn't strengthen.
So Dan, just to jump in there, I don't disagree with you with that. In terms of he doesn't need. So just to clarify, he doesn't need to go and talk to say that. He definitely doesn't. But my point is the fact that he has, because it's happened now. The fact that he has, I'm not mad with it. I'm not mad with it because he's just confirmed it ineditable. In terms of it weakening or strengthening the case, I think it's a win-win because at the end of the day, he said he's played last game. Guy don't want to come. If suitors want to wait it out and not pay the money, we keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, he's not going to go for an evaluation under 70 million anyway. And if it means that we keep him longer, it's to me, it's a win-win.
You
With the
don't
stuff
have to
that's
talk.
been muted,
Professional clubs don't operate like that. Big, serious professional clubs. He's always talked too much. My sons didn't want
agreed.
Bloody Snodgrass. My sons didn't want us to sign him, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And Rice is definitely sell. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah,
I
hear you.
None of us,
There's nothing
none of us
required
disagree.
to do that.
Yeah, but Dan, none of us disagree with what you're saying with that. He didn't have to come out and say it. He didn't have to, and the timing of when he said it, like Brian said earlier, the timing.
That's the
all
whole
on time.
point that makes him such a piece of shit because we're all focused on the trophy win. We're all sitting there and living in dreamland. We're sitting there, and like Brian said, he's popped the bubble. Okay, we never really believed that he was gonna stay, but we just wanted to live in the good times. Oh, look how happy Rice is. Oh, one more year. Oh, trophies. Look forward to the parade, right? We was enjoying that. Why burst whether the balloon's gonna be burst now or then? Let us enjoy it. Let the fucking trophy, at least, go cold, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Let us get to the parade today. He could have said it today.
Dan, to be honest, whether he said it yesterday, today, whether he said it in a month's time, the reaction from our fan base would still be the same because the argument would be, why are you coming out and saying it?
No, it would, but it wouldn't be as. What I'm saying is, it would. Yeah, of course. We're not. I'm not saying that if he said it in a month or 2 months, we go, yeah, that's fine. I'd still say shut the fuck up, but it wouldn't be as bad as saying it. Not even 12 hours after we've just won the trophy, and we're all enjoying ourselves. Like that's what makes it as bad as it is. It would always be bad because one thing we've always said, we've on this channel, we've given Sullivan credit for how little he's been in the media lately, how quiet that he's kept him. Just get on with it. That's all we've asked for him. Invest, stay quiet, get on with the job. Now, in this moment, at this time, when we finally get a bit of glory, now you want to come out. He could have come out and look, if he would have said, I knew we'd be here and, this is what our vision was and this was the plan, whatever. So we'd scoff at him, right? But, at least it's all on the trophy. But to say, like, oh, your best player's getting sold. So
don't you think though it takes the heat away from Rice? Putting Rice in that position.
He's put the heat on Rice because he said we offered him a deal, 200 grand a week. He didn't want to sign it. He left the context out there. It was an 8-year deal. It puts it on it because Rice now. The idea of it is like, Rice doesn't want it. He refuses. We tried. I've done my bit. We go for him 200 grand a week. We done all our can. You offered him a shit deal. You offered him a shit deal.
Oh, exactly. And I think that we all know that it was a good deal money wise, but wasn't a good deal because you tied him down to an 8-year deal. And basically, the only reason he wanted him on an 8-year deal was because then his value then increases because they've got to buy out the loyalty of that contract. So that's the only reason they wanted him on an 8-year deal. No other reason.
They knew, like, this is the thing. Sullivan knew he would never sign that deal. But he knew he wouldn't sign it.
Yeah,
he was never going to sign an 8-year deal.
One, he was never going to sign it. Two, if he did sign it, all the balls are in Sullivan's court because he's got that big contract.
Stupid. It's like bidding for a player. If we weren't put in for Bellingham and we would bid for 20 million for Bellingham and he don't come, well, if they accept the bid, we've got Bellingham for 20 million. They're never going to accept it. Exactly. It's not going to happen. Same way Rice isn't going to accept an 8-year deal. And where was the counter offer? Okay, 2-year deal, 3-year deal. It was like, well, you don't want an 8-year deal. He's fucking off. Like, of course not. That's it.
But that's the thing, Dan. It was that deal was a deal to say, well, we offered him something.
Exactly.
It wasn't.
We tried.
That is exactly it. It is the old. Oh, we tried. We tried to get him to sign a new deal. They didn't, like you said, they didn't come back and say, all right, well, we'll give you 200 grand a week, 5-year deal. They didn't then come back with a counter offer. It was,
Where's
well,
the
we offered him this
negotiation?
and he turned it down. And the thing was, it weren't, Sullivan didn't come out and go, we offered him 200 grand a week and on 8 years. Sullivan, we offered him 200 grand a week and we turned it down. It weren't then that, like, then it started coming, well, it was an 8-year deal. He's not going to sign an 8-year deal. No player's going to sign an 8-year deal. Well, unless you're going to Chelsea. That's the crazy thing about it. And it was that old scenario, like when we tried to buy this player and we tried to buy that player, we offered, they wanted 60 million for him, so we offered 58.9 million, knowing that they're not going to accept it. We tried, but they didn't want to take our money, and that's all they've done. But it's also what you've got to look at Sullivan. Sullivan likes being in the limelight.
Yeah,
right? As much as he tries to hide, to say he's this man who's a bit of a recluse, does all these dealings from him, he likes the limelight, he likes the attention. There was no attention on Sullivan. There's been no attention on Sullivan for a while. He's got himself back out there.
Yeah, he's picked this time, but he could have. Do you know what? I would have let him soak it up a bit. Just
of course,
don't do that. And look at Brighton, for example, right? McAllister's going to Liverpool. Right, it was worst kept. Everyone knew he was linked to Wayne. There was a big chance clubs would go in for him. The owner didn't go on TalkSport the day after just qualified for Europe and go, McAllister's off. Yep, nothing we can do. We tried to. He just went. The deal just happened, and Brighton fans they weren't in catching by surprise. They go, fuck, we've sold McAllister. They were like, yeah, okay, fair enough. We got the money. Let's. Do you know what I mean? Like it happened. They had a chance to enjoy their European qualification.
I don't, Dan. I think. Yeah, it's like Scott said. No one. I agree with you definitely. We both agree with you with regards to that. I just feel the reality is this: it don't matter. To me, why I'm not caught up on it, and I'm not caught up on it. It's just because he came out and said it as it is. He said it as it is, and he just said, "Look, this is the situation. This is what's happening."
Did he really say it as it is if he didn't tell the whole context of the contract offer?
I don't think it matters because he's saying we offered him a contract as a backhander, as we all agree, it was a backhanded statement. What followed next was the fact that he said, Guy said he doesn't want to stay, yeah, and we want to honor that. And at the end of the day, we don't want to prevent him from, achieving his dream, etc. The only thing they wanted was if you stay, give it your all, which they feel he's done. And I just think, you know what?
I don't think saying it as it is always the right thing, depending on timing. Like when he said
that's
about
another argument. Yeah. I think. He
told the truth. His sons told him not to sign him, and he signed him. Right, that's the truth. He told it as it is. Should he have said it? Hell no, he shouldn't have said it.
And agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agreed. That's and that is in itself another argument because there are certain things I feel that there are. It's a time and a place, but I just think what this has done is just like killed things dead. We could have went on for ages, and what would have happened is that 15% of fan base that thought Rice will stay would have grown because there were all these things. We'd been watching all these videos and all these things and taking quotes and saying, yeah, and before you know it, 35%, 40% people, oh, he's staying because I've heard this and this and this. And it just would have just riled us up more. So this is just like, you know what? Now we're at the point where everyone's kind of like, well, he's going in it. But you know what? Funny things have happened. So there's going to be twists and turns in this, I feel.
I'm more worried now. Like, to me, like I said, I wanted to, believe there's a chance. Of course, it would never have, even if I got more into it, I'm seeing him singing those 2 more years, Declan Rice, all of that. And I started to go, oh, maybe he might stay. It never would have caught me completely off guard if he did go and catch me out and heartbroken me because I was anticipating. I did hold on and go, okay, fair. He went, but as long as we get the big money, right? That's the thing. I'm worried now that I'm hearing that we're going to potentially accept 90 million, 92 million early doors. Like, if you're going to sell him, this has to go deep. This has to go right into August. This has to be bidding wars. We have to have Arsenal's offer us 92 million, Man United offer us 100 plus a player. We need this fight over him. And where I'm hearing about, like Arsenal were really in advanced talks and Arsenal, like, other clubs need to be allowed to have their offer. You can't just go, this is a pretty good deal from Arsenal and we're willing to accept it. No.
I don't I don't think they will, because I think if you had like what Sullivan did say, a lot of sides have shown respect to not try to slip in with a bid while we've still got the finals
What
played.
happened to the transfer window, by the way? Is that not? Am I?
1st of
have I-
June. People
Yeah.
out of contract 1st of June, aren't they?
1st of July. But yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
it's,
like,
it's so but players are out of contract now. Their contracts end, I think, now. And does the transfer window is the transfer window open yet, or is it the 1st
No,
of
I
July?
think it was
1st of July as it opens,
Yeah.
isn't it? So that's when
So-
you can actively do business.
Yeah. So I think like contracts can be agreed now and stuff like that if you've got permission from the clubs and all that, but the actual transfer won't go through till the 1st of July.
Yeah.
So it's that, but I think they've shown no one's bidded for Rice yet. You've still got teams looking, Man City, for example, they've got a big game coming up. They're not going to be going, oh, well, we need to get a Rice bid in now. They're going to get that game out of the way and stuff like that. Then you may see Man City come to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
apparently they've offered 100 million.
Well, there you go. And this is the thing. And I'm with you, Dan. You can't accept the first bid. You've got to sit there. You've got an asset. It's like going to an auction. You're going to an auction. You're taking something to an auction that you've got that there's going to be a lot of people out there want. You don't go to the auction and go, it gives me 90 million. Yeah, 90 million. I might take it.
But Scott, the first bid creates the auction, doesn't it?
That's
If
it.
someone comes in with 92 and says, "Yeah, we'll accept that." So if anyone else is interested, it's going to force their hand to gazump that offer. So it does start the auction process.
Yeah, that's why you have to give time. Like, you can't say 90 million sold. Like, you got to negotiate back and forth. I hear we want most of the money up front. Like, there has to be time for these other clubs to come in and put a bid in. Like, we can't just try and get this done. I know we don't necessarily want it to go to the last of the season because we kind of want to know where we are with it. Although, to me, when I look at it, and this is another issue of apparently that Fabrizio quote is fake one that said that, but after to investigate. But yeah, like, we don't want to tip our hands too much as well to clubs, like selling clubs that they know, like, yeah, he's definitely going. So they, even if we approach players before we've sold Rice, they know we're definitely selling him. So the price goes up, like, and you got this big money coming in, so that it sort of tips your hand in that way. So we got to be careful of that. Is that we go in now, so we kind of got to get our business done early. So they're not looking and going, shit, you've just got 100 million quid. So yeah, you want to buy this player? That's 100 million pounds. Like, and we got to be careful with, clubs we're buying from. That's the thing. Oh, Ryan's popped in last minute.
Hey.
Let's wrap up then. Let's finish
mate,
the negative stuff. Sullivan, Rice, all of that stuff. Let's get Ryan's take. Ryan's just come back from Prague. We're still going. It's a big 2 hours spectacular. Like, look, there's so much to bloody talk about. We had no idea. Ryan, how was it, mate? Tell us.
I've literally just walked through the door. I see you are still live. I thought I'd come on and say hello before I go and have a shower. But mate, honestly, I am mentally, physically drained, but I wouldn't swap it for anything, man. What an experience. Apart from obviously the birth of my daughter, and I better say my wedding as well, because my wife's there, but that is the best experience ever, man, honestly. And watching all the videos of the parade yesterday, and like, there was a lot of people out there saying, I wish I was there. And I was like, yeah, do you know what though? I was lucky enough to be in the stadium seeing Lift It. So that parade is for the people that couldn't make it. Let them enjoy their moment now and let them watch the players parade it. And it was, mate, it was just mental. Brilliant.
Talk us through the because I think you sort of see a little bit of celebrations, but from you being in the stand when that Bowen goal went in, mate, like, what was your celebration like? What was it like in the stands?
Well, to be fair, I did have a lot of people come up to me shaking my hand because they say you did call Bowen to score the winner. So and I said, that's the good thing with what we do. It's always on video, so you can go back. But yeah, honestly, mate, we were sitting there thinking, because when we went 1-0 up, and then Zuma got injured straight away, then he went off, and Kera come on, and he looked a bit shaky, and I was like, and then they equalised, and I thought to myself, and they had a couple of chances. I was fearing the worst. I was thinking, oh mate, we ain't got to. And then Ben Rama went off, and I was thinking, but then when Bowen went through, when Paqueta played that ball, and I just see him go through, and it was silent. And you see it obviously hit the keeper's leg, and it just bobbled in. And then that was it, mate. There was tears everywhere. When that last extra time felt like an hour. It was like,
did anyone go down a few rows? Like,
yeah, it was mad, man. I just can't, like, I'm trying to piece it all together now because it's such a long day, that match day. And like, you got the fan zone as well. We popped in there and that was brilliant. And then even like yesterday, like we were sitting in a bar.
Mate, I
was literally just about to say, we were sitting in a bar. We met up with Chesney yesterday, and we were sitting there having a few drinks with his manager, his brother, and like we're all having like a drink together and just talking about the game and experience. And he obviously played at the fan zone, and you see the videos of that. And he said it was one of the best concerts he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just mental.
I hope I can go and see. I hope it's on YouTube somewhere. I do want to go and watch that fan zone. The concert with Chesney.
Yeah, like it was just a whole experience. Even in the square during the day, we had it was all like predicted. Oh, it's going to rain. But on the match day, the sun come out. Everyone was in the square, like just having a laugh, and everyone was like walking around having a beer, and it was just like it felt right. And I felt, yeah, this is going to be our day. We're going to win this, and I love it, man. I just love it. I said to what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to relive it all again, go through all the videos and like just watch it again, because this honestly it was a great day. And I can't wait to add on my wall the European. Yes,
yeah, mate. Unbelievable.
It's the one thing me and Nicky were saying, like we wish all yous were out there with us, like I know Dan, I can't imagine what you was going through, mate. I would have been gutted. Listen, I was watching the stream earlier, and I heard you say about like you had to make that decision whether to still go to Prague or to go and watch it with your mates. And I think that's important. Go and watch it with your mates. You're like, it was.
I didn't want to be in the air when we scored that goal and then come down after for the party and all of that. Like,
it was just that like when that final whistle went. Like it was like I'm getting emotional now. I can feel my arms like the goosebumps coming because I can still physically remember it. And it was just like that whistle went, and everyone was just like, "Yeah, we've won. We're European champions." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We've won a major trophy, and we've beat a good team as well in Fiorentina. And I love it. I want to relive it all again. I do.
you know what? It's so funny. My mate, I think this might be Kojo in the free midfield. He took his daughter, his baby, to the trophy parade. He's a Man United fan. Took his daughter to the parade in Stratford, and now he thinks he might have turned her into a West Ham fan because every time he goes, and smiles.
Do you know what?
And he says to United, don't smile.
The great thing for me, like me and Nicky was just talking about in the car, like it was being in the square on match day. And you turn around and you'd see people that you ain't seen for years, mates you've grown out with, and they're all out there. And then you're like, 1 minute you're chatting to them, then you walk in, someone else will stop you, an old mate that you ain't seen for years. That's what it was all about, just seeing like there was one bit down there. I was like, all it needed was a McDonald's on that corner. It would have been Canning Town because it was like a Canning Town reunion. Dan would have loved that. I'd have took Dan down the Canning Town lane. It's brilliant. And look, we've all got different stories of the day. I was listening to you boys saying your stories and that, and Graham chatting to someone in the Goose. As soon as Scott said that, I knew what was coming. Graham could go. You could go to the moon on a day out with Graham, and you'd know someone up there.
It's classic, Graham. What was the night out like after the game? Like,
you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? It was. We went back to the square, but I think because it was such a long day, it was like everyone was tired, and because I knew we was there for another night, we said, look, let's go back, we'll have our night out tomorrow because there'll still be a few West Ham out, like, and it was brilliant last night. All the bars, like everyone was in. I sent the video to Chesney. We was all singing the one and only, and we found an 80s bar, Dan. We found an 80s bar.
No,
so
beautiful.
It was love it, man. But yeah, look, I thought I'd just come on and say hello. I'm gonna go and have a shower. And catch up with EastEnders because I've missed it.
Yeah, right. I don't know if it's a spoiler. Did you see that clip of Jack and Alfie?
You know what? Someone sent it to me, but I didn't watch it because I want to watch it on EastEnders. So I haven't watched it yet. But they're good at doing things like that. Like they'll chuck something and they film it.
Yeah,
in
well,
the
Scott Marsden's he's a diehard West Ham fan, and I know he watches this, he loves it, so that must have been a treat for him to film. So I know I'm glad you come on, mate, because we needed a positive end, because we was just talking about the Sullivan Rice comments, and we didn't want to end it on a sour note, and you've come and give us the Prague perspective. Yeah, the good vibes, you know what I mean? And so we appreciate that, mate.
No, it was nice. But well, I'll let you go then. I'll let you wrap it up. And boys, love yous. I'll see you later, yeah? Take care.
See you for a beer soon, mate.
Nice one, Ryan.
Wait together. Brilliant. Yeah, no, that was nice. That was a palate cleanser, wasn't it?
It was.
It was good, though. We had, like that was like the good old heated Friday night pints where we were like, oh my God, this is a bit of the passion and the fire, but nice, good vibes at the end there, quality. And yeah, man, like it's been a long season of Friday Night Pints, and obviously, Brian, this is your second one, and I can't remember what we were talking about on the last one. You comment, but I mean, most of these have been pretty like it's been hard to be positive on these. We've had a lot of horrible stuff to talk about, but this is just.
It's the usual battle between me and Ryan and you and Nicky. Me and Ryan try and keep it positive, and you and Nicky bring it down a touch, you know.
yeah, isn't it? It's two halves of the two sides there. I read this super chat. Matt Rainey.
Hey!
Get my Mats mixed up. 499 super chat. Sangre Madison, Max Aarons, Barnes, Gallagher, Jonathan David. That's my shopping list. Who do you want plus targets for Europe, the league in Europe? I mean, any players, obviously, we're going to really get into over summer, but just off the top of your head, see, I actually wasn't sure about Barnes when I did watch a couple of Leicester games, but I'm warming to it. I just think anyone looked crap at that period. Like, I just thought, I don't know, but yeah, some good players there. I think Pafinha we're linked with as well. Any ones that pop out to you that you think, we have to get this player over the line. This is the one. I want that.
It's tricky because I feel we know the positions we need from that list. Like if we're working just off that list, then the standout ones for me would be Maddison, but it's not realistic, and I don't think he would fit if we got Paqueta as well.
He did say he wants some kind of Europe. To be fair, he's apparently already turned down Spurs because he wants Europe. So if none of these clubs come into him for him.
Mate, I would take him. It would make us a little loose, but I would take him because it would bring goals. But Barnes, one thing we need as a team is we need pace. We need some legs. We need some legs. A bit of an outball. Bowen's got good acceleration, but it's over maybe 10 yards or so. But we do need some pace in the team. But we know the positions. You know, we need defensive midfielder. I feel there's still a need for natural width in terms of wingers. Maybe another centre forward, depending on what our situation is going to be, and definitely centre back as well. And you can make an argument for fullback positions as well. But so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get too into transfer stuff because we're going to have a good solid almost 2 months of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy. Now. It's like after seeing that parade, and seeing all the players, it's like I don't want any of them to leave. And I've said literally, I think it was last week's Friday Night Pint. We can't be sentimental. You can't keep players. You got to be ruthless. Seeing that, I'm like, no, I don't want none of them to leave. I want them all to stay. Creswell, Bonner, everyone. It's hard. Even Souček. You know what I mean? It's tough now. We've got a special bond with all of these players now. Yeah, so it's tough. So, like I said, even thinking about transfers of bringing people in and that, I'm still in trophy mode. It's going to get to the point where some people are going to get sick of me and us going on about it, but we don't care. Did you see that meme, by the way, on the Twitter someone put up, and it said, other fans, you can't sing Champions of Europe if you haven't won the Champions League, and it played the "We're gonna do it anyway." We're gonna do it anyway. Barry. Because I love that. As we're singing it, we know what we are, champions of Europe.
Quality.
We know what you are. I sang on the 12th Man show I did earlier. The Liverpool, we conquered all of Europe. Just gotta love it. You gotta be shameless, isn't it? You gotta have fun with it.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Yeah. So Ginger Carroll wants to know if he wants to arrange a name change. Now his hair's gone. He wants to change. I don't think we got any Ginger or who else he looks like. He shaved his head. I don't know if there's any Ginger Downs. Maybe looks kind of like Downs.
Ginger'd always be known as Ginger Carroll, mate. So you're not going to change your name.
Yeah. And it was great to see Andy Carroll back in Alkmaar. Over in Alkmaar, he was. I don't know if he made where he was yesterday, but it's great to see like ex-players that still have that connection with the club that are enjoying it. Like we're enjoying. Like seeing Anton Ferdinand, yesterday at the parade, he's absolutely loving it. Like you can see, it means the world to him. Seeing Ginger Pele, there yesterday hugging Nobes, like Nobes turning around embracing him, like those players that could have won something, didn't win something with the club, but they're still all happy to see that we've won something, even if they weren't a part of it. They're still a part of it in a way, as much as we are the fans. So
I think a lot of fans, and I don't feel they just say it for the sake of saying it. I think a lot of players, like the Gingers and that they become a fan of the club, if you know what I mean. James Collins, Andy Carroll, they become fans of the clubs because of the moments that they have and the way the fans treat them. Andy Carroll, Ginge, they were both involved in that season, the last season at Upton Park. They'll still have an infinity with the football club, and this is the thing going back to Declan Rice. And I think Ryan said it before: no one will love Declan Rice the way our fan base loves Declan Rice. Right. He could go on to win many a major trophy, but no one will love him the way we love him, and that he'll have. And I think Nobe summed it up in an interview. He turned around and said, seeing that on the pitch, you see how much this football club means to Declan Rice. How much, and lifting that trophy. I think he said it, but in the build up to the game, he really wants to lift that trophy for the club, for the fans. Just not for his own personal accolades. He wanted to do it for the fans. And, I think Rice would be a fan of our football club for life.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yep. Thank you for the $5, Benjamin Custer. Did you have a comment with that, or you was just generous? The $5 as keep my accents going. I do the accent of every currency.
That's a whole show on its own, Dan.
Yeah. Except the ones that will get me cancelled if I do the accent. I won't do them ones. This is going to be a very tightrope. I'll try and walk here. Exactly. I'll get cancelled for that one. So, oh my God, what a show! What a show! What a season! What a week! What a life! It's been fun, guys. I'm glad you've been here. I'm glad we could do this. I'm still shattered. I'm still in recovery mode.
Yeah.
But, we got to do it, and we're gonna keep it going. Nikki's got a vlog coming out, which is gonna be amazing to see.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
I made a playlist of all of our European Conference content. So you can go on our playlists and see that, and you can binge watch and catch up with all of the content that we've put out, and just see all the fan reactions and our watch along highlights and everything. The fan cams in Prague, and brilliant. So guys. I don't know what to say now. We just got to end it. Like I said, we're going to be enjoying ourselves all summer.
There's only one thing left to say.
Well, before that, any last words? Because I've rambled on enough. I don't want to take up anything that you guys might have had to say before the one thing.
Just one thing from me, and it's not forgetting all those that are no longer with us, man. Our fan base, whether it be friends, family, who equally love this club as much as we do, who we're kind of probably together somewhere else watching this. Do you know what I mean? But it's to mention everyone like that too. Do you know what I mean? And never forget, man.
No, that's it,
that came out on the watch along where Jace was in tears because I think he was remembering, his uncle, who was a big West Ham fan, and all the emotions came out. So all of those fans that lived and passed away without seeing this, hopefully they're seeing it, like you said, somewhere else, and it's for all of them as well, for sure.
It is, mate. It is, and that's how you got to look at it. I know my brother was sitting up there looking down on this. My sister-in-law lost her brother as well when he was a massive West Ham fan. And obviously, David Gold, You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know, and that's one of the things with Sullivan. That's what he said. You know, he couldn't look across and see him sitting there. You know, so it was good for everything involved. And like you said, mate, you have got to remember the ones that are not with us who would have cherished that moment as much as we've cherished it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
spot on, lads. Couldn't have said it better myself. So great way to end it. So listen, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Scott, for joining. Yeah, couldn't ask for better people to do it with and sum up our feelings as a few people that have been here on this, experienced it on this side of the globe. So thank you, everyone who's watched. You know, and been here all season in the comments, just regular comments, super chats, thumbs up, just watching. Yeah, we appreciate all of you. There's going to be a lot of content over the summer. Obviously, we're going to revel in this win. We're going to review the season.
Yeah,
Now it's out of the way.
It's going to be good, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. We're going to be a lot. So, and we will be seeing obviously more of Brian over the summer as well. So, thank you all for watching. One thing left to say.